So this is session two. Just for those listening, we do have some RP for through texting that will be posted as an intermission, and canonically will happen prior to this episode. Um, Interestingly enough, that's something that hasn't been addressed. Is Emily did have a flower, and she touched the flower towards a heart of a star, and realized its flower is actually purple. Um, that being said, let me go ahead and do with the opening. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Monsieur.
As much as I'll ever be.
Excellent. Excellent, my future victims. I mean players.
I think we did that joke already.
Oh, did we? I didn't think so. All right. Taking a moment and pausing from reciting the tale, the golden quill, wielded by an aging hand, dips itself once more into the inkwell. As the last drop falls from the quill tip, thoughts are reordered and are fresh again. Ah, where were we? Says the aging man's voice. The page turns, leaving depictions of a horrible shadow creature in the shape of bones, the death of a sand shark, and the first battle our heroes come to know behind to turn towards a fresh page, a page of endless, boundless opportunity. And so our heroes found themselves the recipients of a one timely rescue, laden with goods and treasures few could understand or match, as the quill begins to recount once more. We find our heroes disheveled but welcoming rescue in the form of an airship, captained by a short-cuffed man with an eye patch who identified himself as Izzy Buttons. Settling in, the party began to get some long-needed rest and relaxation as they bedded down in the bunks below deck to enjoy some well-earned rest, as the ship journeys to deliver them safely back to the Jewel of the Waste. Ease and conversation began among the party, some settled with suspicion towards our now all too familiar savior in tidbits of conversation. A page flips in the worn book to reveal another chapter, excerpts from the journey so far. After some hours, a night and cool, dry air wafts about the party in the night sky. The stars are out in brilliance and beauty, counterpointing the illuminating green and purple lights dancing across the sky. Izzy Buttons is navigating the airship and begins to recount the tale of the lights, seemingly to himself, though meaningfully glances toward Emily, who could see the stars through the window. Once, long ago, there was a woman with whom a god fell in love. She was a daughter of a miller, had been beauty in her time. She was beloved by all, but fell in love with no man. The Sultan, however, grew to fancy this woman. Rosaline Allaire was her name, the beautiful night flower. She danced in evening parties among men who grew to admire her form, her free spirit, and sparkling innocence. She, the daughter of a mere miller, became the most sought-after woman in the kingdom of the lush sands. In this time, the ranking of a person didn't matter. Only their ability within their chosen craft and their virtue mattered. So the love of the Sultan was not something unexpected, for he was a great ruler among men and desired the most beautiful night flower to live among his garden. Rosaline would take the opportunities presented to her for a better life, but never loved the Sultan. She would not let him touch her, for a flower is best left observed, so that it might live in beauty a while longer. She spent many evenings among his watered gardens and his palace grounds, walking among the buzzing of insects and the hustle and bustle of night time in the city far below. One night, leaning against the garden balcony, she saw it. The most beautiful star she could never imagine. It shone with a white golden light, illuminating the night sky like a second moon. It would forever remain in one place so that Rosaline could always find it, night after night. She began to spend entire nights staring at the beautiful night sky, and not the works of man or slave in Sultan's garden. Entire nights wasted away, staring at the same luminescent star. The Sultan grew jealous as he had come to realize that she would never love him, that she would never look upon him like she did that star. In a fit of rage and grief, he banished her from the city, having her dumped in the middle of the desert while she slept in the day. Abandoned, with no water or food, she was sure to die in the desert alone. However, whenever she walked the sands, trying to find her way home, she would always remember that at night she could find her way. The star would never betray her and watch her always. Seeing her struggle and her ultimate failure as she fell prey to the monsters in the dunes, the whispering messenger of fate, Saloon the night star, waved her hand among the sky, tracing the tears fallen by her loved ones who missed her, the ones who mourned her, mourning the one who was foolish enough to fall in love with the night star. In the sky, like the painting of green, purple, and blue, she drew a path that others might follow, so others might find their way home in the cold desert below. And so whenever you travel in the dunes, dear traveler, remember Rosalie the night flower and give thanks for her sacrifice, so you might take the pilgrim's path and find your way home. Legend says that once a year, when the North Star is at its brightest, along the pilgrim's path grows a single purple flower, a night flower, to symbolize where Rosaline met her dire end. A memory, and a gift from the god that she fell in love with. so that none would forget her, so that she might dance forever in the memories of those who remember. In other conversations, Buttons revealed his wisdom, and as the party contestants eventually came to understand that he knew too much, for he understood each of them in a way they did not comprehend. He talked along of philosophy, of the gods, of guilt and honor. He spoke of the way the world worked, all while nodding rope, claiming he was but a fair traveler and simply nobody. Buttons would later produce a flower out of mist and hand it to dear Emily, who put the beautiful flower in her hair. After a long period of downtime, rest, and relaxation, the party would eventually arrive at the city of Osriel, where Buttons would bid them farewell. All right.
So, are we still on the airship, just about to get off?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, at some point during the ride, Linebeck would have tried to meet up with Emily and ask for some paper, and a quill, or something to at least write with.
You find these easily stashed away below deck.
So they're just around.
They're just around.
Okay. Well, then Linebeck is gonna spend just a little bit of time doing that thing I told you about.
Okay. Hodgkins, you notice that the stake that you found during your downtime, is kind of hanging around you, and Buttons will remark upon it like, "Ah, fearsome beast, terrible and great, poisonous."
Yeah. Well, that depends on that's on a person by person basis. You know, it's a this particular breed. So I was gonna ask, did you fly over? Did you land in a jungle or something? Because these don't usually fly.
Sometimes they do, he remarks.
And sometimes you meet people made out of bones. It's not the same day anymore. It's been a week.
Ah, it has been.
If the snake appears to want to hang around, then who am I to deny it?
Yeah, it's hanging around your neck
Uh,
like it belongs.
all right. Don't start constricting, and we won't have any problems. Uh, Now, where's that rope? I need to tie up this massive tooth because, actually, Captain, are you going to be landing us or are we departing by rope like the last time?
You're at a landing. He hands you a bunch of knotted rope.
Cool.
You notice that it fits around the tooth quite well. It almost makes it into a backpack.
Very good. I'm going to wear this now, and over the next
Is that the
however
same
long.
knotted rope he was doing while
Yep.
on deck?
Yeah, I would like to perceive that as well.
Yep. No check necessary. It's definitely is the exact same rope.
This man has the biggest brain.
Over the next however long it takes, I will be putting that on.
Only takes a minute. Fits
Uh,
quite well. It's almost as if
Hank,
it.
Hank,
Go ahead.
whenever Linebeck is done, if he notices the rope, he's going to ask, Buttons. So, I guess that is not the first tooth you've made a rope for, huh?
He smiles, showing his missing tooth. Nope, not at all.
Was my father the one that you helped do it?
There's a twinkle in his eye. He says, "No, he needed some other assistance."
I'll leave it at that.
Farewell, my
Then-
friends.
Now,
And Emily, he hands you something strange. It is a piece of it's like a frame painting, but it's covered in like a cloth and it's like tied together.
Capitan, why so many gifts? This You're so generous already.
Ah, so you might remember.
I will always remember you.
He smiles.
Perhaps
Remembering is the greatest part of any story.
she takes the bundle. No, monsieur, you are the greatest part of this story. I think I may bring peace to Rosaline and her lover, and it's all because of you.
Perhaps. Perhaps one day. He'll begin to go
Merci,
back
monsieur.
over to navigate in his way out of the city.
All right, folks, I'm going to need you to lead the way because this thing causes me to hunch over and I can't see very well.
I
So,
was going to ask if Hodgkins was strong enough to carry that by himself.
see, normally I wouldn't be able to pick this up, but I can for some reason. Magic amulet. uh, I don't know what's going on.
It feels significantly lighter and well supported inside the makeshift rope backpack.
Yeah, also physics helps. So, yeah.
Linebeck will go over and like knock on the tooth just to make sure that it's not hollow or anything. Like
Not
something
hollow.
happened to it.
I am now tipped in whatever direction you were knocking in. Hey, could you? Hey, oh wait, not. Hold on.
You're good. Grab the tooth and right him.
Yoink him.
All right, if we get into a scuffle, let me know, and I'll spin in a circle and probably crush somebody.
One of the guards
Yes, I mean-
along the path notices this massive fucking tooth. And he's just gonna look at you guys and all and said, "What in the what the actual fuck? What the hell is this?
Yep.
Some prop?"
Nope. That's
we
the
don't.
real
We
deal, buddy.
what? We don't. We still don't actually know what what the thing is, other than land shark, right? Is that?
Yes. Before you say anything, though, anyone who has
I was going to.
spent enough time in the city of Osriel, I wish you to anyone who believe that their character might know something about how the upper court manages, right? Like it's something that you might hear in rumor, but not 100%, right? So if you've been in the city for a while, you'd be able to make this roll. Make me a history check.
I feel like
Been here for-
Linebeck is just going to immediately just be like, maybe we shouldn't mention it because it is the pet of the maw.
I've been in
maybe
here
on the
for a
ship
couple
at some point he
years,
would have mentioned
so-
it. Because this is just something that I kind of thought of. If they're the pets of the maw and like this place is prospering, it's probably something to do with the maw. And the fact that we killed one of its pets, the uppers in the city might not like it.
Hodge, because if you've been here a couple years, you would know this.
Yeah,
There's been
okay.
rumors. You don't know this for sure, but there has been rumors that that the upper nobility has some kind of secret regarding how the wastes operate, particularly regarding of sand sharks. So they never allow anyone to go hunting sand sharks. Not that it was possible.
Well, as irreverent as I am, there's a difference between funny and rocking the boat. No, so if no one's asking any straight up questions, I'll just be hunched over.
We just found it on the way.
Deception.
Is it me?
What am I doing? Am I rolling again?
Lineback roll deception.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Speak no lie. You're big.
I'm not awful at it. Dude, let's go. Dirty 20.
All right.
I've rolled a 14 and a 20.
I mean,
You've rolled a
to
14 and a
Linebeck-
20.
Well, to Linebeck, this is not technically a lie. We did find it on the way. It's a shame that we have issues
Yeah.
during a very critical moment. Or you're about to be sent to jail.
The guard looks at you and is like, I mean, I guess you technically haven't done anything against the law. Hey, whatever, I got enough shit to do. You're not worth the paperwork.
So I suppose our next course of action is just getting to the inn
Mm-hmm.
tavern we were at.
Oh, Emily, did you ever open up the little package you gave you?
No,
back.
not till she's like sitting, I imagine.
Okay.
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome back.
This.
So they defuse the situation. You're not getting arrested. Congratulations.
What's good?
Level up.
What was the DC?
Beautiful.
Out of curiosity.
I rolled a 3, so yeah.
Oh well.
At some point after we pass the guards, I'll like gesture at the closest party member. Hey, so the who I don't know if you've been in Osro long. They don't really. Well, you're not technically supposed to kill land sharks. So if anyone asks, we didn't. Pass it on. I'm not passing it on because I'm hunched over. Pass it on.
If you want to get really technical, we technically didn't do it.
I threw a thing in its mouth. I'm pretty sure I did it.
Yeah? Were you 100% certain it was going to explode?
The guard asks, "Wait, hold on. You threw what?"
So there was a
Dear God.
there was, you see this snake. I honestly I threw one of those little like meat bits into its mouth and it just started following me.
Oh, that's really fucking cool.
Right?
He's gonna reach up, try to pet the snake. Let me roll
Oh,
severity. Do you attempt to intervene so he doesn't get bit?
Sir, where I come from, these ones are venomous. Is it venomous or poisonous? I should know that.
Venomous.
It's one of the things, I'm saying this in character.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that is not good. So be careful. I don't know why this one likes me so much, but
It snaps in his hand, but it misses. Holy shit! A little bite is. Oh, yeah, keep that shit away from me. Okay. I assume you've already got the permit taken care of. You're not worth the paperwork. Get out of my sick. Go.
That's another thing
leans
that I
back over.
noticed. Linebeck will be there to catch him.
Sebas will watch him fall.
I think if I lean
It's a
farther
mage.
forward, I can reach maximum speed.
So as you guys are leaving the area, you notice that one of the on another blimp, a passenger is kind of covered up, and then they have to take off their hood. And you notice her a drow. The guards immediately start taking out their canes and beating the shit out of him. You hear something along the lines of, "We don't like your kind here."
Having been cut out a few times, Emily speaks up. Mes amis, I have a request.
While beating the person, he's just, "Yeah, what's up?"
She's not talking to the guard. She's talking
Okay.
to her group.
So
No worries. The Godstone, perhaps we do not mention it while we are here in town. They seem to be quite direct with their dislike of things that are uncommon to them.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Won't sell for much anyway.
another person comes up. "Have you received your mandatory beating today?" "Oh, you have? Oh, great. He punches the time card. "All right, off you go."
Bro.
The guard leans back and smokes a cigar. "I love my job."
Let's move on.
Yeah, surviving in the city is as much about keeping out of sight, out of mind, which is kind of difficult with this thing on. So let's go.
We need to go to the end.
So after after about 30 to 40 minutes, you arrive back at the Salty Adventure where you first met, and you can see signs posted under the job board for, and I quote, a simple delivery. It looks like it's new.
Is it the same reward as before?
Yep.
Can we please take the paper?
Hey, Milk Dud,
I
he thinks we're dead.
I'm not surprised. I'm Bones.
He probably thinks you're dead. Well, I
By
mean,
the
you
way,
are.
Hatchkin, you would know that among the high nobility, it's common for them to have undead servants, particularly skeletons. But normally they're dressed up and made to look like kind of like Halloween festive things to cover up the fact they're undead.
Okay.
And they don't use like zombies because zombies smell. Skeletons don't. So they use skeletons basically as like you might see unseen servants kind of used.
Okay.
Okay, so
It's
Milk
a
Dud
little
won't
weird
get
that
us
he
killed,
has
but the
like
Shark Tooth will.
Huh?
I said, so Milk Dud won't get us killed, but the Shark Tooth might.
Pretty much.
The star for sure will.
Emily has hidden the flower as well, but she's done so in a separate pocket from the Godstone.
Okay.
Hey, you guys go in first. I'm gonna have some trouble fitting through the door.
You managed to finagle
Lineback
your
is
way
gonna-
in. Looks like it's because it looks like a Goliath-sized door. You squeeze in just fine.
So accommodating.
Imagine if one of us had been a Goliath. Ugh, all right.
Lineback will definitely want to take that simple delivery paper and start looking for old Jeb.
All right. He's currently at the bar with his back turned towards you. He's talking to his wife.
There's yes that I want to try and do, but I don't think Lineback wouldn't do it. But I think it would be hilarious if he went up in a mat, like without his mask, because he's only been seen with it on. Go to Jeb, accept the job, and then put the mask on. I think that would be hilarious, but Lineback would not do it. So he's just gonna walk up and ask, "Hey, I'd like to accept this job here."
Oh, so Jeb turns around and says, "Oh, you made it back. Fabulous." He looks over to another patron and kind of taps him on the shoulder and says, "Hey." He points to you. Huh? Huh? The other patron looks kind of pissed, and Jeb like has a shit-eating grin, and the other patron begrudgingly grabs like a sack of coin and tosses it to Jeb. It would appear that you were favored in his wagers.
Hey, Milk Dud, should I do I pour you out of the bag now, or like, are you two in good relations, or like I don't?
Yeah, technically I'm his property.
Okay. I start emptying the pouch with bones.
No, as he falls. You hear a rough and tumble and a bark as suddenly a dog launches across the room to grab the skull and run off with it. No!
Well, that better be extra.
We found your. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go sit down now.
So Jeb points to a table. Sit. Oh, and let's just say for a little bonus, he grabs out a smaller purse and tosses it towards your party. He gave you an assortment of coins worth about 500 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Who is going to be the designated banker?
You have the
So
item, right?
split it up.
Oui, monsieur, I'm not sure if you deserve this. This has come from great evil.
Okay, look. All I gotta say is be careful who you play poker with, okay?
What is this poker? Some game of chance, I presume?
Yeah, it's like dice, but, you can't rig it as easily. so I lose. Not that he coughs and looking at his patient's looking at him. Not that I would rig dice ever, you know. He does like the cutting of the throat motion. Ixnay on the
Where did-
Inske.
Why would you deal
Just
with
go
such a
ahead and hand
creature?
it over.
I will not give this item to this man until I have my answers, Monsieur Lineback.
I'm sure you're gonna get the answers, but understand that you accepted a job, and you not handing it over affects more people than just you. I understand your reasoning for wanting to know because I'm curious as well, but come on.
It's not as simple as that, Monsieur Lineback. He sent us into danger against some foul creature or god who plays with the bones of its victims. This is not some ordinary contract.
Not some more. How long have you been in adventure? Pray tell.
She stops to think, looking at you with like the sus eyes, and she says, 18 days.
He does the Jack Sparrow nod. Jeb does, and he says, yeah, it's you know, this kind of thing." So he kind of bruffs his hands against his coat and kind of looks at it and says, "Yeah, this is about typical." He rolls a
I
23
wouldn't
for
say
deception.
typical. Oh well.
Who was this creature, Monsieur?
Don't worry about it. Look, you
I
got
am
out
worrying
alive.
about it.
You got out alive. Everything is fine. Everything is peachy. You even got, you know. He looks to you. He says, "Some trinkets, I take it." I mean, that's usually how it goes. He either kills him or gives you stuff. You know, one of the two. I figure, you know, enough macaroni at the wall, as it were.
How often do you lose that in poker anyway? Don't
Don't
answer
off my
that.
shirt a couple times.
Why does he want you? I know better than to question the bone man.
Now, please, he proffers his hand. May I please have the necklace?
Monsieur, he took my breath and seemed gleeful at the prospect.
Yeah, it's Breath of the Living.
Why did he do so, and what is he?
Uh,
I must know.
You're asking questions I don't know the answer to.
Does this belong to your wife, I understand? She takes it out, but doesn't hand it to him yet.
The wife nods.
Oh, the wife's here?
Mhm.
She stands up and walks over to the wife.
Well,
Mademoiselle.
thank you. I can't
Your
do female
husband.
voices.
Your husband has cost me a debt that I cannot understand. She hands it to her.
Oh, that's just, you know him. She gives him a wry smile. She does the whole thing calling for a dog. The dog runs up with the skull and she puts the necklace around her dog.
Careful with that, it's explosive. Doesn't quite say the last part too loudly.
Oh God, she hears you. What?
Where do you get explosive from?
What did you do to my necklace?
Not that one. There's a bunch of stuff in the cave. Some fire touched it. It blew up.
Jeb tries to calm him down. He's like, no, it's not gonna explode. It's not gonna explode, little Duchess. Okay, relax.
How big is this dog?
It's a mastiff.
Oh, okay.
Its name is Little Duchess.
Hey, that's an appropriate name for a Great Pyrenees or a Chihuahua. All right. I am. My character is now occupying space at the table.
Jeb pats the coins in his purse and says, "You know, I didn't expect you to get back so quickly. I figured you'd be gone for another day or two at least."
We had some help.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he mentioned that it was already paid for.
Strange guy flies a ship.
Ah, I see. He sits down at the table and kind of scratches his beard. Nobody special, huh?
Quite right. Just nobody.
Uh, you didn't. He does this kind of nonchalant gesture, coughing a little bit. You didn't take anything from him, did you, by chance?
I feel like I think this would be the comical moment where everyone in the group just looks over at Emily.
Stares her down.
No, monsieur, we are not thieves. We do not take things from others.
I mean, technically, the rope.
Yeah, he gave that to us though. We didn't
Oh,
take it.
he gave things to you? Oh,
Oh.
oh no.
I feel like this is another instance of you not saying what needs to be said.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about that. He rolled a 2 for deception.
Monsieur, I am tired of dealing with people I cannot trust and who do not have my best interest at heart. I expect you to withstand or to maintain the deal that we have arranged, but I would have nothing else to do with you. I'm sorry, madam, but your husband has erred in my favor.
All right, fine. Look, I'm sorry, okay? In fairness, you know, this, he points to the whole situation. That was not my doing.
How so? It was you who sent us on this mission, who had us drop from an airship into the sands, perhaps to our deaths, to quest then to some evil creature in some dark cave in
Hey,
order
I
to
never said
exchange
he
a
was evil.
treasure you lost while sitting.
Yeah, I mean, I needed to get my necklace back, okay? I mean, you're up. Do you feel fine? What, you feel healthy? I mean, did he take anything from you? He said some breath, right? Well, guess what? You breathe every day, okay? So I fail to see how that's a problem.
I suppose I shall see someday.
Now, as for the other gentleman, yeah, I might want to sit down for this one.
Emily had been standing since she had gone to his wife. She ultimately does choose to sit down, but she sits down at a different table.
He looks at you kind of like with a flat face. Okay. He looks to his wife and he's gonna say, bring out some good stuff. None of that watered down shit. We're gonna he kinda looks a little white. We're gonna have to forget some shit. And he looks into an empty cup. After a few minutes, he brings out what appears to be some fine whiskey.
Ooh.
So, he hands everyone a drink. There's been rumors, you see. No one's ever seen him twice. Once in a while, we'll get someone in here who's seen something they can't quite explain. They're lost in the desert, and all of a sudden, a man picks them up, claiming to be sent for them, or searching for them, or something. Anyway, they get delivered to the city along the pilgrim's path at night, always at night. The man gives a different name sometimes. He appears in different forms and always claims to be nobody special. In any case, it's said that he once failed someone to find someone he loved dearly. His beautiful Nightflower, he called her. He followed the law like a good person, so it is said, and did not come to her aid when she needed it, and so she perished in the desert. Saloon made a memorial and forged the pilgrim's path, till eventually he decided to end his great exile. He vowed to search the stars, the sands, and all the land for his lost love, his lost Nightflower, for he knew, like all things, she would be born again. She would come again. She would have a new name, a new face, but would still have the same beauty, the same innocence and love of the stars. She'd be the same person, the same soul in a new body, or so the legend goes. Every once in a while, someone who got lost at sea or in the sands, and will find an airship ready and willing to help. Though he dropped off at an air station, only to discover what you've discovered now. He's a strange man, the traveler. No one really knows who or even what he is. Just that he's looking for something. Someone special. In any case, usually doesn't bode well when he's given gifts. They've ended in a variety of disasters.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't remember him telling us he was looking for someone. Unless this is just an error on my part. I just didn't read it.
I was otherwise occupied for most of the trip.
Same. I don't remember anything about that.
Hard to get a lay of the land out in the desert. It's just sand.
How many people has he rescued?
No one knows. I can talk to at least, 2,000 men that come through here every now and then over the years who've received his aid. Some of them wish they never met him.
What happens to them?
Well, it's all the same, really. Sometimes he knows a bit more than he should, and you talk to him and he talks back. And then he plants an idea. Eventually the idea blooms like a red flower, and disaster strikes. It's never something direct, you see. It's always imprecise.
Sebas will take a large gulp of his whiskey and just stare at Emily.
Over the rim of your cup.
Mm-hmm.
Emily is looking at the bartender with her arms crossed, and I'd like to roll a deception to see how well she's hiding her emotions.
Roll it.
After seeing Sebas just gulp down his whole thing, he's gonna offer his whiskey over to him.
I will
Not all of
gladly
it.
take it. I'll gladly take as much as you're willing to give.
She is taking everything he says with a grain of salt, isn't buying it, etc.
I feel like you've grown trust issues with my NPCs.
No.
This
Trust
guy
one
costs
more
her
than
so much. Hey guys, here's a job. Oh, you just dropped into a pit with an evil lich demon thing. That's fine. Oh, here's 500 gold. It's okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to being an adventurer.
Just another day.
For you,
Yeah.
the day you met Bone Man was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Or Sunday, as it were.
Very, very unfortunate that now we have to teach a day one greenhorn how bad it's gonna get.
Day 18.
That's the joy of mentorship. Day 18, I met Bone Man.
Day 19, I was giving a flower in the heart of a god.
Day 20,
typically
Bone
how
Man
the
was slayed
progression
by a
goes.
dog.
Day 21,
That's
I
typically-
killed God.
Yes, the JRPG progression route.
You think by killing me I would die?
People die when they are killed.
I'm not even trying.
All right.
Brinzelaire has
So,
just been like silently observing. Probably sat down next to Emily.
Like I can, Jeb's gonna look to your party and notice that Emily's a little frustrated. Look, again, look. I'm sorry, okay? Honestly, I didn't know how bad it was gonna get. I didn't know why people didn't come back. I figured they were just lazy, okay? And he rolled a 21 for deception. And he's gonna say, look, honestly, again, like, I didn't know how bad it's gonna get and all that. Okay, so, let me make it up to you. I have a new opportunity, completely above board, easy pickings. It's worth more than enough to make it up to you. He gestures to the back of the inn. Follow me into my back room so we can have a private conversation.
The back rooms.
Damn it, I gotta put this thing on again.
You want to trade off who's holding it for a little bit, Hodgkins?
You know what? Sure. Put it back down.
All right, Lionbeck will go ahead and strap it to his back.
You pick it up. It's pretty fucking heavy.
Even for strength 15,
It's pretty fucking heavy. It's doable, but it's heavy.
He's gonna look over at Hodgkins and be like, give him a nod, like, "Dang, boy."
You're like basically
you the
hauling a
stronger
big fucking dresser.
It's not just that it's heavy, it's more that it's like obnoxiously large. Yeah, don't
And
smash into
Lionbeck will be
stuff.
like, instead of making this into weapons, this would be good as a training weight.
What are you gonna do? Like carry that around all the time and then what? Like take it off when you get in a fight? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Nudity makes
I
you
mean,
stronger
in my
on this
head,
planet.
I was thinking more like the training montage from the OG Dragon Ball when they would wear the turtle shell.
You were wearing that the entire time?
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always wearing heavy shit.
I'm always lifting.
I am following the innkeep into his office.
All right.
So they must like follow, but like kind of stay in the doorway.
Okay, so everyone else following suit.
Yeah, I'm going in.
What about you,
Great.
Emily? Is Emily gonna trust the innkeeper just a little bit?
Well, the roles require me to, but she's gonna do so reluctantly and kind of give the look to Sebas and be like, "Vraiment? Really? We're just going to walk into some dark room with a man who nearly had us murdered?"
You know, sometimes they like in this city, Emily, they sometimes like they'll pay you less to like scrub out the public latrines, and those have a significant stabbing risk. So like honestly, could have been worse.
Hodgkins, you're the one who did the like sacrificing of a soul to get 1,000 gold, right?
I will make that was still not me.
Damn
That was
it.
not Hodgkins.
That was not hot.
That was the so-called honorable lineback.
Listen. As far as Linebeck is concerned, when it comes to honor, the guy was already defeated.
So
What happens afterwards would have been death.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
No need for an honorable death.
He had no legs. Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
For the way he fought, he didn't deserve an honorable death. He took a hostage.
Interesting point of view.
He cost me 2 grenades that I didn't know were grenades at the time.
It cost me 2 grenades and I didn't know were grenades.
Quote chat.
Why does this keep happening? Anyways,
Monsieur Hodgkin, I'm not here to clean sewers. I'm here to unite a people in ways that they have been too fearful to imagine.
Nor are
as
we, but do you expect to be able to do that with how weak we are at the moment? I mean,
generally
geez,
you don't
one
start
group
off
of
doing
bandits. I mean, geez, one group of bandits almost took us out.
there were fewer people in that group than our group, I might hasten to add.
Exactly.
All conflict is resolved. Not all things are resolved by strength. Diplomacy,
Oh, but it helps.
it can help.
You have to
Jeez.
have something to offer to make diplomacy happen.
Sebas, roll me a
Anyways, let's
perception
get back
check,
to the
please.
plot.
Ooh, shit. Ooh, 22. That was a natural 20.
Sebas, you see a black cat on top of a tall, like, bookcase kind of thing that holds glasses. And it's gonna look at you and raise one paw towards a glass bottle that looks kind of expensive.
Uh-oh.
What does it look like this glass bottle has in it?
It's like a very expensive red wine.
I don't care for wine. I'll look the other way.
The cat yeets that shit. You look at it and you look at the wine on the floor. You look back at the cat, and the cat's gone.
Ooh, interesting.
Man,
Gonna look the other way.
there's a lot of animals in this tavern. Not the
Emily.
though.
Emily joins Sebas at the doorway and just mumbles to him, J'aime pas ça. I don't like this.
Well, let's see what he has to offer.
So, there is a nondescript in the back. There's a nondescript torch sconce, and he pulls the torch sconce. There's no reason for there to be a torch right there, by the way. It's literally above a fireplace, but he pulls it. And you look so clever when a side door opens.
I nod agreeably.
Makes
So
sense.
shakes his head in disappointment.
You gotta be able to remember where you keep it.
Who's the biggest of the party?
Tallest or widest?
Like, tallest.
5'7".
That's
This-
probably Brenzalier. He's at 6 feet.
Probably.
Okay. Oh, sorry, we don't have a Goliath here. Okay, cool. That's fine. So, you notice a rickety pair of stairs through the door downstairs.
This
Shit,
seems
this tooth ain't
familiar.
gonna fly.
Come with me. Come with me. He goes down the stairs.
You got a place where we can keep this? I don't think those stairs are gonna make it.
He looks at you. Looks at the stairs. Nonsense. They're fine. They're imported. The stairs will be fine.
Hey,
Will the stairs be fine?
You have the tooth. I'm gonna go before you. See ya.
I'm gonna wait for you to go all the way down.
Hodgkin looks up at the looks at you guys from bottom of the stairs, and he looks and sees a fine room. It's got a nice table. It's got some chairs. It's got a sleeping area in the back. There's even like a back way out of here. It's pretty cool.
I didn't die immediately, so maybe you won't either.
Tentacles appear. I'm kidding.
Promising.
So to Linebecks, would they be able to hold up against the weight of the tooth,
Intelligence save.
considering that they are imported?
Intelligence save.
I got a 3.
Definitely, dude. You got this. I mean, that thing looks fucking strong.
Yes.
It's imported, dude.
Hey, Hodgkins, cat.
What?
Not really. He's just gonna start walking down very carefully.
Dex save.
Let's go. Natural 1.
You get
Oh,
down
that's
one
right.
step, it's kind of creaky, and you're like, it'll be fine. 2 steps, it starts creaking even more. 3 steps, it'll be fine. You hit about 4 steps, and the fucking stair collapses, and you fall through. You land
How far
about
do I
5
fall?
feet down.
Oh, okay.
Kind of bust
So
your ass,
not-
but you're right.
No, so is the tooth okay?
The tooth is fine.
Good sign.
Listen, Linebeck is set on having a sword made out of this tooth at the moment.
You hear Jeb sigh and like cry just a little bit. Fine. You notice there's an unusually ornate chair.
Emily is not yet gone down, and seeing that, she is resolved not to at this time.
Yeah, Sebas isn't gonna go down either.
It's all right. I don't know. I was gonna say something reassuring, and then I realized I don't know how to do that.
Hurry up! Come on! Get your ass down here. Just skip the bad step. It'll be fine.
Last time I came downstairs such as these, my breath was taken, sir. I will speak with your wife
Oh
of
my
another room.
God.
Oh my god! Are you still on about that?
She's new.
You lost your breath. Oh no! You breathe every day. Get over it. Get down here.
Shakes her head and looks at Sebas. Je partis maintenant. I'm leaving now. I will find us a room.
You're
I'll
gonna
go with
find
you.
us. We have a free room.
I will not be staying in a crypt.
There's clearly another way.
It's
You
better
see,
than the
she didn't see
streets.
the back way out. This room has 2 entrances
Yeah.
/
It's
exits,
not a crypt. It's not even a basement. It's just a second floor.
but it's under. All right. I'm not an architect.
It's on a hill. Emma, let's just check it out. Can't be that bad.
She looks to you. The steps are broken. How could we?
You're missing. It's missing literally 1 step.
I think you can handle this one.
I think it's more impressive the fact that the shark tooth fell through the floor and didn't take any other stairs with it.
True.
She's gonna
Some big-ass
whisper.
steps.
She'll whisper to Sebas. He cannot know that we've been gifted things.
I think he already knows.
A
This
whisper
is
back.
just out of character.
Then we shouldn't talk about things and play it normal. Play it cool.
We meet an alarming amount of people who know more than they should.
That is true.
Who are we to say what someone should and shouldn't know?
Hey, yo,
I'll
Hodgkins,
say it.
check out this
No, that's
chair.
too profound.
Hurry up! I ain't got all night.
Sebas
She
will give a grin and hop downstairs.
before Emily follows down the stairs, she's going to look for a mechanism on the other side of the door that allows the door to open or close.
There is one. It's just a button. A little lever
Okay.
thing.
And then she'll go through.
All right. Inside the basement is a stately large room, albeit dusty. There is even a small adjoined bar and 2 complete bedrooms. Jeb is currently sitting in a carved wooden chair. He points to a wooden pulley in the wall. That'll open another panel that let you out back. There's no way in from that direction, save by knocking a few times found nearby. These will be your rooms. These are usually where members of the family would stay, but I haven't seen any of them in a while. He points to a much larger, sturdier-looking chair. Trying like to pick that too, eh? That's expensive. He looks to the motherfucker with a fucking tooth on his back.
Hey, look, you told me it would take it. They were imported. I thought it would be okay. You didn't stop me.
Yeah, he has a slight tear. Yep.
Linebeck at some
mahogany.
point is going to take another 100 gold and pay for the stairs.
Thank you. He goes and takes a board from beneath the stairs, as if this isn't the first time it's happened. Shoves it in the hole. There, good as new.
Wow.
I still don't
Oh,
care.
there
He's still
go-
gonna do it.
There it goes. Well, I suppose it's your Dark Soul money.
Dark Souls.
Linebeck don't need it.
He brings out an old, crusty map with plenty of beer stains and betting wagers put into the margins of the map itself. He gestures towards members of the party. So, how are you, just out of curiosity, how are you with heights? I got this here rope.
I mean,
Do we
not
still
a day
have the
ago.
rings?
They have lost their magic.
Not just a day ago, we were hanging from a ship. So, you know. Also, these don't work very well. Some of them. I lived.
Yeah, well, he kind of mutters, they're kind of bargain bin. Buy in bulk, right?
How many did you buy? Don't answer that.
He looks at you and says, enough, with confidence.
How high are we talking here?
Oh, he kind of does some rough measurements of the map and says, about 300 feet, maybe, give or take.
How high were we last time?
About 100 feet.
3 times that.
Wonderful.
No, je ne fais pas. I'm not doing this.
Okay, honestly, what makes you think it involves blimps, okay?
Well,
What?
now that you've said it,
I mean, really. Huh, who am I to do the same thing twice? In any case, so a fantastic opportunity for a tower in the north is going to reveal itself very, very soon. Well, probably within a few days. Well, I mean, hopefully. Let's see.
Sorry, what? Is it not already there?
It's complicated.
he's just looking.
So, all right. All cards on the table. You might not be the first people I sent on this one. But
Shocking.
I have full confidence in your abilities to take care of it, and if you don't make it, well, like I said, we do have life insurance, so you might want to stock up on that. Any takers? No? Okay. But yeah, so in any case, I just gotta make sure that they don't succeed first, but I doubt they will, so I guess you could leave whenever. Anyway.
But you said it's not there yet. So if we left now, it's not going to be there.
No, it's just a fantastic opportunity that hasn't yet quite presented itself. Basically, I don't want you to have competition, okay? Just, all right. Look, I sent the people that, remember the guy, the egg? Yeah, I sent him on it, okay? And as you can imagine, not quite the intellectual crop, And
You mean the
it
egg
probably didn't
swallower?
make it. Yeah. Oh,
What?
so the tower it's hidden north inside the desert. It's been abandoned for a great many years. Probably just some little bit, tiny detail, really, minor hauntings, possibly. Nothing you can't handle.
Is there another bone guy?
No, of course not. He's different.
This time it's a ghost guy. You're
Oh,
about to fight
no.
I
Danny
swear
Phantom.
upon my mother's grave that that there is absolutely no way that I've gambled with anyone inside that tower.
Oh god, we're gonna fight Danny Phantom.
He's a phantom.
Didn't know we were starring in the new Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
On the way, there's also a few bandit camps we could arrange to be, he gestures towards your party, raided by possibly a few suitable candidates. He pulls out some papers, starts rifling through them. Technically, anything you find is considered, he does air quotes, salvage. That's fair game to remarket. We can make quite a bit by collecting this salvage. So based on information I have, one caravan was stored by appears to be your average human pirates, bandits probably. Ensuring destruction would probably reap a pretty good reward from the guards if you can bring proof. You might want to cut off fingers or thumbs or ears or something, he gestures, anything really.
Emily gasps in the back as she's settled on a bed and has been listening and just like disgusted at the thought.
So, another group seems to have valued human cargo. Nasty business that, or a way to transport them magically. They're probably, due to be thrown into the pits. Anyway, so, good on them, I guess. There are some goblins too. They probably aren't that good at hiding, but they'll likely seek shelter in a local cave, so you're easier to find them. Of course, there could be any manner of things inside the cave, but most definitely any of the slaves that survived would probably be there. We could, of course, make a huge amount of money selling the slaves, but that's, he looks at me, probably not something you guys be totally into.
Looks backwards. Yep. Nope.
I mean, I don't know if you know anyone that could, I don't know, he kind of scratches an itch if they pay for souls or anything like that. He mutters under his breath.
Monsieur, no.
Roll perception and see if you hear it because you're in the other room.
No, I think she came down.
Yes, but she said she's in the other room. She's sitting on a bed.
Oh.
And he muttered under his
But
breath.
also said she was listening. 19.
Okay, you heard it. Damn it. Okay.
Unfortunate.
I mean, I'm not saying the person who were wrongfully enslaved, but what about murderers? People doomed to die.
At best, is this not proof of his moral intransience?
It's probably a pain in the ass to deal with anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel on this one.
Personally, I don't like the idea of just attacking camps of people for no reason. The slavers, however, is a different story.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they all like bandits? I mean,
Yeah,
or
they're all bandits. Anyone who's traveled along the actual road, right? They would know, of course, that if the teeth don't get you, it's the bandits.
heck, if anything, they'll probably attack us while we're on the way.
That's a different story.
Emily perks up at the mention of the road and is trying to come up with a way to ask a question.
All right, so what, like mildly haunted wizard's tower or something to the north? Would I have heard? Was this something that people in Osra would have like mentioned offhand at some point?
Yeah, might be colloquially known as, just spitballing here, the Tower of Whispers.
Oh, that thing. That's fine. Oh, I think I know about it. I'll pack some honeycomb for ear plugs. That'll be nice.
Earplugs. Why would you need earplugs?
They call it the people around here refer to it as the Tower of Whispers. So I guess if you don't want people whispering into your ear, you just put earplugs in. Genius.
That makes sense.
Oh, and if you do find any cargo, make sure you transport it back. We'll be able to get a nice, pretty penny off anything you manage to recover.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that
Well,
reminds me.
depends on what it is. Might not be able to. Like, get a bunch of.
He
He-
takes out a small engraved box from a wood panel beneath the floor. He opens the box and brings out a large purple cloth, the red symbol of power in the center. This is my handy dandy teleportation cloth. Don't touch the center. He looks at everyone. Don't touch the center. Is everyone clear on that?
Oh,
Simple enough.
Sure.
okay. So like, don't touch the center unless, or like, just don't do it in general.
It's for goods and cargo only. It'll teleport anything you place upon it that's not any kind of official seal or anything like that to your warehouse. Will be processed and sold. Basically, you find any amount of salvage, place this bad boy in the ground, say money is yummy, and poof, the goods will vanish. Now he looks at you all in the eye and says, don't use it on anything that's alive. Bad things happen. I warned you. Don't do it. Doesn't end well for them, ever. Anything that has a soul just has a bad time. I suppose it could theoretically transport dentures, but in any case, it's valuable. Don't break it. Don't lose it. Don't touch the center. Okay? He folds it up carefully and puts it back inside a box, and then pushes the box towards your party.
So when you say don't touch the center, does that include placing stuff on the center?
No, it's fine. Just basically, the major thing is if you don't touch the center, then you can't accidentally say the code word while you touch the center. Okay?
You could have just said, "Don't say the code words."
Okay. Then so then you just remember, oh, what's the code word? Oh, don't say this, and you say it, and then boom, you're dead. And it's easier just to say don't touch the center, right? It's like saying if you're on fire, just remember to put yourself out with water. No, the better thing is to not be on fire to begin with, right? Not don't be on fire, then also put oil on it. No, see, it doesn't make any sense. It sounds snappy.
We'll be fine. Just don't worry about it. I sure don't. I reach out to take the box.
All right.
So what are we even doing in this tower?
Oh, that reminds me. So just to give you an idea, so it's technically a tower, but I mean, for to understand, it's that people were buried in a tower, if that makes sense. So it's less a tower and more like a vertical tomb, really,
Catacomb.
kind of, yeah. There's a special item of significance inside there. It's called he looks in close, the Cup of Suffering.
Oh, so we're grave robbing.
I wouldn't say grave robbing, he scoffs. I mean, look at it this way. The item's a temptation, right? And if we were any kind of decent, we would remove the temptation from other people's paths, right?
Hey, at least you're telling us about it beforehand this time, or something.
Yeah,
I'm always honest.
That's
That is an incorrect statement, sir.
And remind us what's in this for us.
Gold, lots of gold. Look, the Cup of Suffering is supposed to be pure gold, okay? I figure worst case scenario, we melt down the bitch, and that's a lot of gold. Oh, and you might not want to touch it with your bare hands. Just, an idea, by the way. You might want to, he kind of gestures with his hands, kind of, rubs them. Might want to, like, wear some leather gloves or something.
We just throw the cloth over it and say the thing. Does that work?
No, it can't transport magical goods. At least, I mean, okay, look, to be honest, I say that, but I only tried it with, like, the one thing, and it didn't work out well, okay?
So it's magical gold.
Yeah, kind of, he scratches his neck, kind of blew up a establishment, got some, Okay, yeah, the warehouse exploded, okay?
Right. Don't put magic stuff in the non-magical crap in the
Yeah.
dangerous handkerchief. Right.
Yep.
So go to a crypt, go up the stairs instead of down this time, steal a cup, reappropriate a cup, whatever for the cup. Probably fight some bandits along the way. Am I forgetting something, guys?
No, sounds like the gist of it.
Perhaps the nature of this crime that we're being asked to commit.
Hey,
Perhaps a
technically
question
it's
as
not illegal, okay? We're salvaging.
you're asking us to commit crimes of the soul, sir. Taking from the dead, murdering others.
Hey, who said anything about murder, right? I mean, you know, just
You did, sir.
it's
The
aggressive
bandits are people.
self-defense.
She looks to the group. Mes amis, can you not see you are being manipulated by this man for his own purpose? He desires profit amongst all else.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm willing to share the profit, you know? I got
It
the
is not you who
means,
doing the kavai.
you got the he does like the strong motion. You got the metal, you know. You got the guns. He taps his muscles.
First thing you gotta learn about adventuring, kid, is money talks.
Money does talk.
And think of it this way: think of all the poor souls those bandits attack. You'll be doing the world a favor by getting rid of them. And think
Even
about
if
this
this
item. Well, you wouldn't want some nasty, evil person getting a hand on the cup of suffering, would you?
forgive my blatant bluntness, but that is why I resist taking this mission.
Oh, you'd rather someone else find it?
She doesn't like you very much, man.
I see that. What if I smile more? Does that help? He smiles. No? Okay. You know, it's worth a try. Works on the wife.
Milk Dud pulls off a better grin.
That's true. Oh, speaking of, he gestures and he pulls out like out of his pocket a teeny tiny whistle. You might want to use this on occasion. Well, you know, when you really need to, anyway. He looks to you and says, "Just make sure you don't mention it to my wife. I gave it to you, okay?" He winks.
Right.
Emily scoffs.
It's a general emergency item.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It's a whistle.
Okay, but what
If
does
I
the
may,
whistle do?
does this whistle protect us from giant sand requins, sharks?
I mean, I don't know about that, but it'll take down the good old daddy. Give it a good hard breathe, like you mean it.
Somebody
And
else take it. I've already got this box.
She immediately walks up to him and puts out her hand for it.
He reluctantly hands it to you.
And she brings it like just beneath her lips and blows.
No. As you
She
do
doesn't
it.
blow in it. She does not blow in it.
Okay.
She blows over it.
Don't do that here. No. Hey, he looks upstairs. He puts one hand over his ear. Says, "Okay, good. Looks like we're good. Don't do that here, okay?"
The gods are not listening, and she puts it on the table.
You notice he looks like he was about to have a heart attack. He snaps at the whistle and says, "Please, someone more responsible take this."
As soon as you explain what happens when you blow it.
Probably got something to do with that dog.
Correct. Look, okay. Whenever I blow it, the dog comes back like a bat out of hell. All right? I'd rather, like, you know, he points to all the papers on his table. I'd rather this not be on the floor, okay? You know how long it takes me to clean that shit up? Like, forever, okay?
For me. No, but seriously, somebody else take it. I've got I have the box.
Linebeck has no pockets and no backpack.
It's got a cord so you can hang it around your neck.
My neck is taken.
Put it around the snake's neck.
Snake, I'm gonna need you to blow this whistle in times of need. Oh, fine. I tie a thing and put it around my wrist.
All right, good. All right, excellent. All right, he's doing like a mental count. All right, let's see, did that. Let's see. Okay, well, I think that's about it. He scraps and said, "Yeah, that's about it." Yeah. Anyway, so there's some hangout back if you have any horses. Here. He attaches a door handle up to side. There, you can get in and out of this area without worrying about a knock or anything like that. Just be careful. And you'll be ready to leave in a couple days once I get everything sorted, okay? In the meantime, enjoy my establishment, and you've got room and board for a month.
Right.
What are we
Good
getting
deal.
for doing this even?
And don't break the fancy chair. Was
Yes,
that?
it's important.
Couldn't you just move it over to? All right, whatever.
We're getting gold and lots of it, apparently.
Mes amis, if you are seasoned adventurers as you say you are, then you should be asking for precise terms of monetary compensation, not trusting in some stranger who nearly had us murdered.
Well, the
Listen,
good thing
He
about
hauls her
someone who
from
tries to murder
above
you,
the stairs. I only had it. It's only one time. Really, it's forgivable, honestly.
Well,
good thing
considering there are
about
5 of us and 1 of him, I'm assuming a 40-60 split.
Well, I will not be joining you on this mission, if that is what you will call it. I have something of greater import to do.
well, we've got a few days
You're
off
just gonna
anyway.
say it and not explain it?
Not
we
while
haven't
he's
even said
lingering
we're
on the
going to take the
staircase.
job yet.
He's upstairs doing his business around the tavern.
Is the door closed?
Yep.
Okay. Linebeck will reply to what Emily said and say, well, considering we haven't said yes or no to the job yet, what is so important that you need to get done?
She looks to Linebeck, then she looks to Brinzelier, and then passes Hodgkin and kind of considers him, and then to Sebas. She puts her pack on the table and draws out the flower. Whom among you did not hear Captain Button's tale?
So boss is gonna raise his hand. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, what tale?
His tale of a woman of Nightflower, Rosaline, who fell in love with a deity.
Actually, they were in the cabin as this was happening. Would Linebeck have heard bits and pieces of it while he was out on the deck?
Yeah.
Chilling out in the rain? Okay.
I probably would have heard it too then.
I got chunks. I wasn't really paying much attention to anything.
She will reiterate the story, and then at the end of the story, you the players know the story, right? You're just saying in character.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
in my case at least, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So she'll reiterate the story with special deference to both main actors in it, and then she'll reveal the flower to them. This, I believe, it may be Rosaline, as no one as Miss Captain Buttons wishes to be known as. I suspect he is something more. Perhaps.
Yes, that was part of what old Jeb did explain to us, but you do see where paths cross and divert between the two of them.
She looks to Linebeck and she's what's the word I'm looking for? Annoyed is too strong a word, but we'll go with it. She's annoyed to be disrupted in mid-story. What crossing do you speak of, Monsieur Linebeck?
So I might have heard wrong on my end, but I'm pretty sure from what I remember was said, it was in the story that old Jeb told through what was told from everyone else, what they heard through Buttons. Instead of it being like a sultan, it was Buttons who had lost someone. And that he was searching for the Night Flower. Whereas in the story that Buttons told, it was the Sultan and a god who lost Rosaline.
Monsieur the Sultan did not lose her. It was he who banished her. And I suspect that whether Buttons is the deity himself, or perhaps someone charged with her protection.
That's
It
what I
seemed
picked up as well.
It seemed to me that he failed in protecting her that night, or perhaps since then has sought out and
By
found
the
her.
way, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you just reminded me. He said something when he handed the flower. I got a dirty 20, and I never got to hear what he said.
That's what he said. I put it so you know it out of character.
Now, let me scroll up just so that way, because I thought it was going to be something separate.
No. It's basically what was down there.
In which case, so it's the worth it be to break a pact to rule for one such as you.
Yes.
Okay, then Linebeck. So you guys can continue that. I'll go with what Linebeck was going to say when you're done.
Anyways, well, perhaps I'll show you. Especially those of you who believe that this god, and she pulls out the god, or actually rather than pulling, because one hand's got the flower in it, like slowly shuffle it out of the bag. This is no mere rock to be forged or cut up or sold. And she'll do the nearness as she did with the flower before.
Nothing changes. The flower's still purple.
I did this just last night, and
The flower was
well,
white, now it's purple.
Sebas, you saw the miracle the same as I.
I did. Do you really think you're strong enough to do that right now?
My faith is as strong as anyone's. And in truth, disagreements aside, all of you, she takes a moment to look at each of you. All of you played a role in this, and a role in allowing me to continue my callings, saving my life, for which I'm eternally grateful.
Listen, Emily. Are you still going on, or
No, you go.
I don't want to interrupt. Okay. Listen, I don't want to say that what you're trying to do isn't right. I think what you feel a calling for is what you need to do. However, I feel like something got lost along the way. You think that that flower is Rosalind, or at least represents her in some way. Is that right?
Rosaline, and yes.
So, which one of those two do you think? Because from what I'm understanding, you think that that flower is Rosalind.
Yes.
Well, keep in mind that even Buttons himself said that he had no way of finding her. The only thing that he found of her was that stone pillar.
Capitan Button spoke in riddles all night. He would not answer a direct question if I had ears. I'm certain of it. Perhaps he still carries with him some shame for failing to protect Rosaline that day. And my faith is not blind, Monsieur Lineback. I could be wrong. There's a price to pay to be wrong, and I'm willing to pay it. But a price to be negligent is entirely avoidable and unnecessary. I believe that's what I should do next, and what I would invite the rest of you to do with me. Sebas, Monsieur Lineback, Monsieur Hodgkin, and friend Brinzelier, to accompany me to a place not far from Torre where I was raised, to a place known as the Foot of Heaven, perhaps where I can rejoin Rosaline with her long-lost love. And restore some joy to this place we call home.
Wait, the Foot of Heaven? What even is that?
The Foot of Heaven is a name given to a peak, a mountain near to my home.
Would Linebeck have ever heard of that?
Depends how far have you traveled. It's a pretty rural thing.
Probably not then.
Really, it's a local legend. I mean, it's not impossible for it to spread. So it just depends on like how worldly you think your character is.
I'm gonna go with the bare minimum. I think he would have stayed in and around his hometown, and this is his first true outing into the world past his father's stories.
Okay.
So
Wait,
unless
are you
it's
around
something his
Spalding?
father would have told stories.
Or you're based in Spalding, right?
I think that would make sense because the
So you would know that the Foot of
Dolron
the
died during the
Heavens
siege.
is in the Spalding Mountains. There is a particularly tall mountain that has ice at the top, and that's called the Foot of the Heavens.
Okay, how close is that to Spalding?
It's one of the more
Like,
common
in order
roads
to
taken out from Spalding. So they live basically in the The Torre is a small town in the Spalding Mountains.
Okay. In that case, instead of being like, where is that from? Linebeck is gonna be very hesitant in agreeing because he kind of doesn't want to go back to his hometown where his family can find him and be like, what the fuck are you doing back? He will explain this in a more elegant manner. I just don't know how.
That was like the other way I could have gone when I left my city. I didn't go that way. That was pretty far.
Well,
I will say that I am one to want to accompany you, especially after hearing the tale from old Jeb of what happens to those who have encountered buttons before. If any truth is to that, I would prefer not to have something happen to you, especially after accepting 2 of these gifts.
Would you like to roll an insight on that whole conversation with Jeb?
Sure. I have a +1. That's a 12.
So you get the idea that that Jeb doesn't necessarily believe the negative consequences part. It could just be coincidence. He's not, he's not saying that he's 100% responsible. It's just like whenever he speaks, it seems like people might take the worst intent or the worst possible road as a result of his interference.
Well, in that case, what Linebeck said still kind of stands.
Okay.
Because this might be the wrong way to go. We just don't know it yet. Because I think with what Linebeck knows, he would want, if he was going to go on this mission himself, he would want to find the pillar instead.
Do you mean the pillar in the sands?
Yes, that one.
I was thinking of that as well, but I cannot come up with a way where it may be relevant. I wondered, and if Capitan Buttons hadn't gone to rest, perhaps strategically, in fact, but if he had stayed with us a little bit longer, I'd have clarified whether or not it lay close to Pilgrim's Path. He mentioned to me that there were communities that had stories of this place, that had stories of a place like an oasis of sorts. And I thought it might be valuable to seek out these communities and learn from them, gain their trust, gain their favor, become one of their community and learn what they know so that we might better resolve this riddle. But as inexperienced as I am, Rosaline spent her last days wishing to be with her lover in the heavens. And to bring her to the foot of the heavens with this in tow, she looks to the Godstone. It is not unlike ice, is it?
I'm no geologist. Is there geology? If there
just-
isn't, forget I said anything.
Just look upon it. It looks like ice or some kind of crystalline nature. I believe it to be a symbol of some sort that guides my next
Say,
step.
Hodgkins, you've been in here for a while, this city for a while, right?
Yep.
You wouldn't happen to know of anyone around where we could get some of the stuff identified.
Looks to DM.
There are services that you could use to identify magical items.
Those exist, but as with all this sort of thing, y'all seem pretty interested in keeping things on the down low. And the risk of going to a public service is that word gets out.
There are some more clandestine options. How knowledgeable is your character of the seedy underbelly?
Only as knowledgeable as it takes to like survive in this town, city. Like he's not going to go out of his way
you would
to
know basically who not to fuck with.
Yeah.
You would know that when people are desperate, they would mark a sign outside of a hovel and would go inside, and then a representative of the family would meet with them.
There's ways of getting in touch with people who know certain things. People who are in groups that some of y'all are probably not so fond of. I never did that sort of stuff because easy way to get yourself in too much debt if you're not careful. But
Say
there's
law school. Oh, sorry.
there's
Say
clandestine options.
Zelos will kind of toss and be like, well, if you get me a pretty enough pearl, I think I can help you out.
I offer this solution as a way to find out exactly what we have in our possession. Obviously, the Heart of the Star is a very important magic item, so knowing exactly what it does and possibly even finding out exactly who is inside of it would be very beneficial to keeping us on a wild goose chase. Preventative
Emily's
measures.
staring at you.
Linebeck will stare back
Hey.
because he's not like saying you're wrong. He just wants to make sure you're right. He doesn't want to have to go all the way back to his hometown after finally leaving it, and then get there, and then for some reason nothing happens because the Heart of the Star was not actually the god that we were supposed to bring back.
Well, I mean, what you say, a pearl? That's probably a lot easier than what I was talking about, if that's what we
I
want.
mean,
So at the very least, tomorrow we can start with that.
There's
let's go
also
for
the
that.
issue of we've been getting room and board for a month. After the whole journey we were just on, it would be a shame to waste it.
This is a nice
I
room.
don't.
Nicer than what I
I
usually
don't
get.
think. I don't think old Jeb is one for keeping tabs on this kind of stuff.
What
For
he'll
a
do
later
is every
date.
day that you guys rest here up to a year, he'll mark a day off of your 30-day payment.
Oh, okay.
So you're for the foreseeable future, you
Okay.
basically have a home base.
Nice.
I mean, Emily,
Sheila.
it can't help to gain some more information first.
The Bass, this is not just a magic item. This is a test of our faith. We know the answers in our heart. It's just subject.
Sometimes patience is a virtue. At least that's what my dad would say. I didn't pay much attention, but he said that sometimes.
Probably
Sometimes the
muttering to
faithful have
himself so he
to.
doesn't strangle you.
Yeah.
Sometimes the faithful have to use all of their options and collect all the information they can.
All right.
Otherwise, the gods will not help them.
So, you guys basically have two choices right now. One, you could arrange to contact the family. Two, or you could sift for rumors to get ideas of things that you could do or things that are happening around you and things like that. Would anyone like to roll for rumors, or would you like to proceed talking to the family, or proceeding to skip a couple days to go to the adventure? What do you guys want to do?
I mean, can we seek to get a pearl so I can try to identify?
Yeah, the way I run it though is I assume as a caster, you have a number of ingredients that you use for spells and just deduct the gold. I don't worry about that. Unless it's like a super rare reagent or something like that that's super specific and you're like in the middle of a dungeon or some shit.
You need a
Okay.
dragon's left nipple for this one.
Yeah, like unless it's something super specific like that, I don't worry about it.
Okay.
So
I mean,
in that case, we need to pull together 1,000 gold. We have 500.
mm-hmm.
And Linebeck
It's-
might not have the other 500 anymore.
It's just 100 for the pearl, not 1,000.
You have to
Well,
times by
gold
10.
is adjusted.
Oh shit! Yep.
Do we have enough money overall?
I think and correct me if I'm wrong. I think the impression I'm getting is at the very least we would like more intel before we make a decision on what's going to happen.
By the way, you noticed a safe in the room with Emily. Emily, when you were sitting on the bed, you noticed a safe. It's kind of under the bed.
Oh look.
You could put a safe inside a safe inside a safe inside a safe, and she's not gonna trust it.
I mean, in character, you could have massive words from your guide telling you it's safe, and you probably still wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, he's just using thaumaturgy.
That trickster Jeb. I feel like Jeb's gonna basically be the Cabbage Man, where you blame him for everything that goes wrong.
He knows what he did.
Cabbages.
We might not know what he did, but he knows what he did.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you guys out of character genuinely trust or distrust Jeb?
I am
What
neutral
number is
with
what?
him, honestly, because
I'm
I mean,
I'm
as
at a hard 2.
as far as a liar, I mean, he technically hasn't lied. He just has omitted a
deceived.
lot of details.
Lies of omission are lies.
Mhm. Yeah,
You're right. I might have to change that.
fairly distrusting, but
Yeah, makes sense.
I trust his
I mean,
motivation.
He did give us a room, so
he's
Yeah,
not
I
like
trust-
completely evil.
I trust that. Yeah, I totally agree. So I was saying is the good thing about someone who's already lied to you is you can expect them to lie again.
1 out of 10.
he doesn't just trust anyone. Buttons is the only person she trusts, and even then, it's like that's it.
And Sebas, and Brinzelier, and Hodgkin.
No, I wouldn't trust.
Lineback sacrifices
Lineback.
souls.
You don't know that I've done that though.
Yeah, I woke up. I thought I
you
woke up. I'm pretty sure.
you saw basically a man being dragged down into the depths, and then a pile of gold get thrown towards Lineback. You could put 2 and 2 together, probably.
Yeah. she
Wow, what
knows.
a coincidence. I can't believe he got that money.
I was just the nearest one to get this money. I don't know what happened.
Strange how these things work out.
Well,
Lineback will still defend what he did if put up from it.
Hey, Lambert, what did you do with all that gold?
He's if asked, he will bring up the sack and show that he only has like 800 left.
So you do have enough for a
Fine.
pearl, then.
Yeah, we can get the
Yeah.
pearl.
Yeah, we would have 300 gold left over, which in this world is tantamount to.
By the
3
way,
pieces.
guys, I would highly recommend not only keeping character how much keeping track how much money you have in your characters. I would recommend someone bookkeep, whoever that is, whoever feels more comfortable doing it. The person who likes writing notes.
Yep.
Keep an eye on how much gold you have. This is critical.
I did
from
ask
from your DM. I'm telling you, you want someone to do this because shit that's gonna happen later in the campaign. You're gonna want to know exactly how much money you have.
I do have a section that says we've received. I mean, I am sort of taking that. I have a section that says
Same.
we've received the 500 gold pieces. I just don't know how we're splitting up the spending of stuff.
Yeah, I did ask who was going to be the bank mule.
Yeah,
No
I
one
remember that.
answered.
Yeah.
Hodgkin, the
no-
person,
yeah.
shouldn't have the money, but I can take notes.
Emily
Lineback
votes for
full
Sebas to
stop.
carry it.
I can carry it.
Lineback
That's
full
fine.
stop would give the money to a homeless person in a heartbeat. He does
so
not
you're
care
not
about
holding the
gold.
money. I will hold on to the money.
I mean, maybe Lineback should hold on to the money.
Where's me
Emily
broke?
the righteous, Emily the goody two shoe, paid in the ass for the DM. I don't want to go to the plot hook.
Well, then freaking make it attractive for her, man.
Oh, there's a
That's the
dozen.
only-
There's a
that's the
dozen
only-
injured puppies down here you can heal. How about that, motherfucker?
Oh, there they are. They're so cute.
It's so,
Oh my goodness.
it's what my
Whatever
character would
works.
do.
I almost flipped my shit when you blew into the whistle, dude. I was about to be like, no.
She was doing it to like stress the shit out of him, so she's content
Just
with
a
that.
teeny
She
tiny
probably
bit of
smirked.
penance for his transgressions.
Yup.
Mhm.
All right, so let's continue. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go get the pearl? Do you want to cast Identify? Do you want to see about contacting the family? Do you want to sift for runers or go on the quest? Those are your 4 choices.
So all in favor of getting the pearl and spending the 1,000 gold, leaving us with not including what is on my character sheet because I have an extra 14 gold, but leaving us with a group total of 300 gold.
I would recommend whoever's keeping track posting it in the general chat. By the way,
I could do that.
most people, I find that's easier for everyone. So, and then I'll that way I can deduct stuff as needed and whatnot. I don't have to ask the bookkeeper and shit. So that way it's
I am
will
agreed on
ask-
that course of action. Is everyone else
will-
agreed?
Yes, I agree.
Yep.
Yep.
Emily will roulette
will-
and allow Sebas to do identify on him.
Just for curiosity, DM, would Linebeck have an idea of how much it would cost to make a sword? Like what he already has, another katana?
Katanas are especially expensive.
How much are we talking?
Let's see. What's the base cost? The base cost of katana is what, 15 gold? Something like that. That's like in normal D&D.
I don't think there is a specific katana weapon. I just use long swords and then just flavor it to be a
Oh,
katana.
gotcha. Longsword's what? 20 gold, 15, something like that.
I can check really quick.
Yeah, go ahead and do that for me. Let me check. Okay, costs 15 gold, so 150 base gold.
Okay, there you go.
A custom-made katana with a unique material. You normally, I would say, they would cost about a time and a half of the normal cost in order to make it. But since it's like such a unique material, you could expect a better result, but you would also expect a higher cost for them trying to figure out. It would take a higher amount of material, and they would have to figure out how to make this material work, if that makes sense.
Right.
So you're looking at, I would say, 325 gold. You do that, and you can have a katana that has a unique property that you can roll for.
So 325 is what you said?
Yep. Just
325 gold for a land shark sword.
do you guys want me to
Make
create
multiple.
a channel for the loot and stuff, or do you prefer having just general?
I do get
Great,
lost in
actually.
general.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right,
It save you having to pin it every time it gets updated.
all right. Loot bookkeeping has been added.
We've done it.
So, can we get this
Look at
pearl
that.
and identify them?
We have more
Yeah,
chance.
let's do this Pearl of Identify.
All right, which object are you identifying?
She is going to like reluctantly hand you the Godstone first.
Let's do
I
it.
steal it.
She heals you.
Oh my! I'm not used to running with an uninjured ankle. I fall.
Okay, ritual cast identify on the Godstone.
Does a ritual cast have a cost?
Well, I still need the pearl.
Oh,
I don't
gotcha.
think the pearl gets consumed.
Yeah, it doesn't get consumed. I just need to have it to cast the spell.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't think identify was that expensive.
Yeah, no.
For
It's
Identify, you just need the materials, but Ritual stops you from using a spell slot for it.
Yeah, I know that.
It just takes time to cast.
But theoretically, I guess we're all like sitting around staring at him doing it.
Say to my sweet ass time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So, it is the star. It is the pulsing heart of a star. Inside is a soul. Not necessarily a soul of a deity. Let's see.
You wouldn't be able to figure it out.
See. Well, you're the first person to roll identify, so I had to get an official description of it. You're the first person to actually identify the heart of the star. Congratulations. In
Just
3
really?
campaigns. 3 campaigns.
We're
We're
ahead
just-
of
That's
the
why I
curve.
didn't have it
First,
like
we
prepared
ask
on top of my head.
questions.
I was like, fuck. I was like, I knew I should have done something.
We're too powerful.
I was having too much fun in the RP
Fir-
chat with the snake.
First, we ask questions. Now we cast Identify. What's next?
Tunnel snakes rule.
All right. So, this object is worth. Let me roll.
I
Your
don't want to
percentage.
know. Sebast, don't tell them.
One of the options has to be 350. Just so I can be right all along.
Oh, interesting. All right, so I rolled a very
3,500.
binary result. So I want you to choose: is low good or bad?
Uh-oh.
Good.
Sure, good.
It's a 99.
Come on,
I was right.
Binary. Binary is ones and zeros, dude.
As in, like, is in very good or very bad. Okay, don't look at me like that, motherfucker.
Binary.
All right, so good news
I feel
is this item is
vindicated.
very valuable. Bad news is it now has an undescribable bad property that Identified is not able to yet engulf, to yet ideal. It's kind of a consequence I haven't yet come up with. Actually, fuck it. Let me just roll for it.
Tibus finds out that the heart of the star is cursed. He doesn't know how, but it is. How is Emily gonna take this?
She's
You
not
fool,
gonna
it was actually the heart attack of the star.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the god of gods lied to us and called them binary.
There's 10 types of people on the earth.
The earth rumbles as the heart grows bright. It's like a 4 on the Richter scale.
Oh shit.
I dive under the table. Shit's gonna blow up.
I'm gonna have the shark tooth just leaned up against the wall and have people come under it, since we are under a basement, or at least we're under a couple of floors. I feel like the shark tooth is gonna survive that. If it survived a fall.
Can
That's
Brinsley
you've
have a
angered the
drink?
gods. She's
Can
gonna try to
Brinsley
take
have a
that.
drink that he can sip calmly while the earth is shaking?
Wait, what is the Richter scale? How high does it go?
10, I believe.
4 is pretty intense. It's no sneeze, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's like a Thursday in San Francisco.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a mild quake in the
But
bay.
you can. The thing is, it's something you can definitely feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Emily's gonna grasp the thing away from Sebas and lambasts him.
Huge beam of light and lightning burst into the sky. Through the roof, by the way, creating a hole.
Guys,
That's expensive.
You can see through the
guys.
hole that clouds are beginning to spin around this beam. Lightning forms in the air, and for the first time ever, it's raining in the city of Osriel.
So I want you guys to
There's
know
no way.
it doesn't usually rain out here. Since I've been out here for a while. Fuck.
Is this just like a continuous beam of like light shooting up?
Of lightning.
Lightning.
So does that mean Emily doesn't have a hand anymore?
Is she holding it?
She grabbed it.
Oh
He grabbed
no.
it.
Oh no.
Oh no. Deck safe.
Nat 20.
Ooh.
Well, there we go.
She sees this shit go down. She dives out of the way. She's like, nah, fuck that. No ill effects. Thank God. Okay. I didn't want to roll
Other
a 16d6.
than, you know, rain. Now I really want to stay in Osriel just to see the aftermath of it's raining.
Oh God. Let's see. Let me find the other effects. All right. Oh no.
So
That's not a good
I
sound.
do want to ask, so that way I can understand how this is going down. Is this because we casted Identify, or is this just what happens whenever the heart of the star is around?
You identified the object.
Okay.
Think of like a huge door to an endless library of knowledge. and you just open the door.
Now our
You get
brains
the
are
idea
filling with
that
information.
that this heart is solid magic.
Is there
Oh.
anything positive about this heart, or just like shit everywhere?
I haven't finished rolling.
Oh, good.
Oh,
So good
Jesus.
news and bad news. Good news is this does not affect living matter. Bad news.
Oh.
The entire N has been sent to the ethereal plane.
oh my god.
Oh.
Does that include our stuff?
Oh god, that does include your stuff.
So there's a bunch of naked people in in like a hollowed out
Anything
basement.
you're wearing is fine.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. Okay, the tooth is okay.
Sid
You're
goes
wearing
into
the
the mist
tooth.
into the ethereal plane to get his tooth back.
Bro, I would be sad. And my sword is okay. I'm fine. My family heirloom is still on me.
So there's a rock sparking the crap. Actually, is there still stuff? Are you still rolling stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
Jeez. We are about to go to jail. There's no way
we're
we're
about to
not
be
found out for
executed.
this.
We're straight up gonna be executed.
Time to flee.
I'm changing our theme song to the yakety sax.
Ah,
Buttons is just off in the distance. What in the fuck?
Does anyone know what the spell Thunderstone used to do?
What it used to do?
Yeah. All right. So everyone, make me a Constitution save, please.
holy shit.
I'm good at these. I am very good at these. I got a 22.
DC 15.
What?
It's your boy. I got a 12.
You are blinded for an hour as the burst of light comes out of this heart.
Oh,
Oh my fucking god.
I am also blind.
This is without a doubt the most unique run of this.
I knew I should have taken the blind sight fighting style.
So
You know, unironically, I actually thought about doing that for Lineback. Make him a blind samurai. I thought about that
No.
really
that would have
hard.
been
Hold on.
iconic.
No. Come on. Did I misroll that? No. Fuck.
Oh.
Fuck.
Did we
I
just
think I
ruin the
broke
campaign?
my campaign. All right.
Oh.
Well, okay.
Are we in an
So-
anti-magic zone? Don't tell me we're in an anti-magic zone.
Worse.
Oh.
Okay. It's not that bad. It's only one. Okay. All right. So.
Jesus.
Okay. So here's
You
what happens.
will
So-
have to explain why it would have been so bad.
You'll know here in a second. So this heart is bursting huge amounts of power and energy and magic into the atmosphere, and then all of a sudden it condenses and like blows outwards, and you hear an eerie voice ask, "And return to my freedom, one truth is yours."
We see none of this, of course,
Yeah,
except for
really.
the person who passed the, except for people
Wait,
who passed the
hang
con
on.
save.
Lineback.
Yeah,
this is a
Jesus.
I
sound.
passed.
Yeah,
Oh, this is a sound?
yeah. This is
Everybody
I've
else.
returned to my freedom. One truth is yours.
Yep.
Oh,
You get to ask any one question, and if this creature or power knows the answer, you get a truthful answer.
what if it? Actually, no.
I knew we should have made him into a hammer.
It's gonna shit post. As
You're
best I
right.
don't do that.
You know,
Uh,
I think this is a question we should let Emily have.
In character, I've decided I'm also temporarily deafened, so I'm rolling around not being useful right now.
All right. So
Lineback
Emily, you
has no
hear,
questions to ask.
"From the heart of the star, one truth is yours."
Ask it what you've got in your pocket.
Wait,
No.
does anyone want to ask a legitimate question?
I
If
would
not-
like to. I very much appreciate Linebeck's OOC request.
Okay. Oh, I thought someone else had said. Oh yeah, absolutely.
What
Brizzler
have I
would
got in its
totally
pockets
give it
is- Yeah. So these are just the local effects, by the way. I haven't finished rolling the others yet, but we'll figure that out later.
I have the shitty flute version of the Avengers theme blasting right now.
We're changing the world.
I'd like coming up with a question like this on the spot is kind of intimidating.
I'll be right back.
I mean, it
So-
is, but also at the same time, with it coming like this, I feel like in character, Emily might have actually had a question to answer. To ask.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Whereas
Can
literally
I-
Linebeck would have only asked one thing, and I don't think anyone's gonna like it except me.
Emily's like terrified of everything, blind, but even unsure she wants to ask this question of whatever is happening right now, she jumps at the opportunity and asks, can I reunite Rosaline with her lover at Heaven's Foot?
Are you sure that's how you want to word the question?
Oh, come on, DM. Jesus.
Wait, is this a yes or no answer or
Make
a
it vague. I was gonna say, don't ask a yes or no.
blank answer? Can this be like
You
any
get a
type of answer?
truthful, earnest answer.
Just ask how to do it.
Yeah, how, not if.
How do I? Okay, good call, guys. How do I?
Make sure I would write it out first as well.
Yep.
Right in that general chat.
Because
That's
out
a
of
hint that-
character,
He's gonna
it
monkey
is
paw
a truthful
the shit out
answer,
of
but that
this.
doesn't mean it can't be fucking cryptic about it. So
Yeah, he's gonna monkey paw the shit out of this. So
I mean, with all
Can't
the shit
believe
that's
you've
going
done
down,
this,
I
but
feel
I
like
can.
by the way, this is something like this has happened in 3 out of 3 of the campaigns of Hidden Heavens, by the way. Not
Oh, good.
this early.
something like
Not this early. Not like this early in session 2. Has something like this happened?
So this isn't unprecedented, at least.
Yeah, no. I mean, at least you didn't cause a. At least you haven't broken any celestial bodies. You haven't resulted in a giant meteor crashing about the city. You haven't destroyed the city with a giant dragon. You know.
Well, I think on the bright side, DM, your plot point is probably going to be explored now because old Jeb is probably going to make us do it.
By the way,
as we have literally established.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, by the way, says Jeb.
So your new quest is to go to the ethereal plane and get me my house back.
Any suggestions on Edit's team?
What was her full name?
Rosalinda Lair, if I remember correctly.
At that end.
Do we have the name of her? I guess her Celestial Love is good enough.
That's
I
pretty solid
remember the
question.
name Sloon.
But I mean, her Celestial Love would only like really mean one thing.
I searched
If it
Rosalie
knows
and I
it.
don't see her last name anywhere.
To pass in my mind.
So how do I spell her last name? Yeah.
I got you. I'll show you. I did pin it, so.
Oh.
Rosalina Lair, Allaire.
Allaire.
Aire. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know
A-I-R.
the last name. I get it.
Let's see. As for the second part of the question, how could that go wrong?
I'm sure I'll think
It's
of
just gonna
something
be two
after you
words.
ask the question.
You can't.
Hey.
Well, was it Hodgkin? Someone raised the point that in the moment she would ask a question, and as much as I want it to be the perfect question, I think this is the in the moment question that she would ask.
That's fine. Like, again, like, I'm not gonna, like, it's not like you had a week to plan this,
Yeah.
It's not like you're willingly choosing to use a monkey's paw and wish for something that's gonna bite you in the ass. Yeah. You hear
Regardless of what happens, I am greatly entertained. So
you hear a booming voice.
This is
Bring the
great.
soul of the reborn to the mountain's feet, and she shall ascend and rejoin the stars once more.
Bring the soul of the reborn. So she has been reincarnated.
Yeah.
Oh, low key, this is gonna be Emily.
I
And
was
she's
just
gonna
about
leave
to
the
say.
campaign.
Oh,
Wait, what about Emily?
I said low key, Emily is gonna be the reincarnation of Rosaline or Roslyn, and she's just gonna leave the campaign. That's it.
Retire.
She'll retire without having achieved one community.
goodbye.
he poses off into space.
Thank you for all the fish. Bye. Okay.
Good, now I
And
can go and kill those bandits.
that what happens to you. Also, if you haven't, can you pin it?
Yeah, sure. I'll pin it. Make sure I'm posting this right place. I did. Okay.
Since we're being recorded, maybe I'll read the question too. I'm not sure if it came across. So the question is, how do I reunite with Rosalina Lair with her celestial love?
Oh man.
Okay, so now we can get back to the treacherous rolling and find out what else happens. Because we decided to
God.
identify the heart of a star.
Yes. So, to give you an idea, basically what just happened. So the star is kind of like a bottle, and inside the bottle was a massive, massive, massive amount of untapped magic, and he kind of just decided to, hey, fuck it, let's just take off the lid. What could go wrong?
So what you're saying is we should have said high good instead of low good.
DM said binary. So that's 1
Out
or
of
10.
interest.
I mean, the implication is one or the
11.
other.
Yeah, out of interest, if it was like high equals good, would it have actually been good for us?
I would have rolled in a more favorable table. Put it that way.
Okay.
This one's got some wacky shit on it, though.
I don't know. I noticed that.
I am very
You don't
interested
say.
in seeing how this all is going to play out.
So, as this vortex of energy escapes into the sky, creating a swirling mass of a thunderstorm in the heart of a city which has no infrastructure whatsoever to deal with rain, by the way.
It's a desert. You wouldn't need to.
They have to import their water like scrubs.
But they never met us.
Hashtag create water team.
Yes. A black
yeah,
cat appears in front of you, and you hear a whisper from it. I'm sorry.
Which one of us or all of us?
All of you. Anyone that can hear.
I already said I couldn't hear,
It
so
just
fuck.
says I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Why is the cat sorry?
Cat's about to get 5 kills on the board right now.
By the way, just as a question, what happens to everyone that was above us? Do they just fall? Is anyone
Yes.
dead because the house is now gone?
Jeb is dead.
Yay!
Jeb lands gracefully like a cat.
Fuck.
Oh my god, Jeb is
Where
killing us.
Where the fuck did my Ingo? What
He's
the
killing
hell
us
is that?
now. So is the cat the effect or the precursor to the effect?
You don't know.
Well, thanks.
Neat.
Oh, good. That's the
cat
fun
can
part.
now
The
speak.
first chains of the earth have been broken.
Is the cat saying this?
Yep.
The fact that the cat knows that the first chains of the earth are being broken.
Is this we couldn't see, but is this the same cat that knocked the wine off?
Yep. And so it comes to pass
Creepy.
that the first seal is released. And thus the world begins trepidatious work towards doom.
Oh, good.
Linebeck is also the only person that sees the fact that a cat is saying this.
True. No one else knows.
The cat disappears. I need that in slow mo with like the light of like the whole like a holy order light playing for that gif. Whoa! Heathen.
All right. So, okay, now that we've brought about the apocalypse, what else is there on the table?
Who wants to roll me 1d4 minus 1?
I'll do it. 1d4
Whoever
minus
rolls it
1.
first gets it.
2.
Okay.
Higher
A green
the
figure appears in front of Jeb. He says, "I want my fucking inn back," and the inn appears.
dice. What?
Hashtag saved.
Linebeck is just fucking going nuts. Like, first a cat talked about the end of the world, and then a green figure popped up and the inn is back.
You ever feel like, so on the topic of JRPG scale, I think we found the next step on top of what we'd already talked about.
And then he's gonna say, "I want a really big." And while he's saying this, you understand that whatever he's talking to is granting him whatever he wants.
I'm going to Linebeck will yell out just because I want a really cool sword.
Oh no!
Oh my
To put the seal back.
What's happening?
All right, so Hodgkin and Lineback, I want you both to roll me a D100 to see which of these things you blurt out are filled.
Okay, so I'm hoping for a 1, and Hodgkins is hoping for a 100.
I mean, do we here? I'll roll it in. There's no D100, so I'll roll it in.
Yeah, no, you just
Yeah,
said
roll it in
Discord.
Discord.
Point D100 in general.
So we're both gonna hit.
I hit 96.
Oh my god!
Okay, we're good. We're good.
No, because if we decided that, if we still say that high is bad, then
No, you
I think
beat
you guys
him.
were
right.
competing.
You
Oh.
rolled 96. You beat him.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Linebeck doesn't get a really cool sword.
You can still make one.
I was hoping for a really cool sword, though.
Hey DM, you remember how you said that we were probably going to cry this session? I didn't know that it was going to be out of just pure disbelief
This
at
wasn't.
what the
This was
fuck
not.
is going
This was
on.
not in the menu initially. This was not in the menu initially. You fuckers had to break the mold and identify an object that I said does cool shit when identified.
Okay, hang on.
That was my notes.
I will say in my defense that in general, I did ask Sabas, hey, if you want, could you add identify to your spell list? And he said, okay.
If there is no pure expression of the butterfly effect than that right there.
Pretty much.
All right, so
Can no longer say that it's been a day. We've gone beyond that.
It's been a fucking.
you hear gears of the world change as if someone has slammed a door.
So we have managed to single-handedly doom and save the world in less than 6 seconds.
Hear a slight creaking as if a door is ajar.
Sounds like a pretty standard campaign.
The door is still mildly open, so I guess we'll have to do something.
Mildly.
Someone's gonna have to do something about that.
Definitely not
no,
us.
but in all seriousness, you actually see this. Hold on. Let me actually show you what you see. Give me a second.
You mean what line?
Can we say we see this in our mind's eye? Because otherwise,
Yes,
I'm not going to
yes,
see it.
Yes, you see it in my eye.
And we're all blinded.
That's very true.
uh,
We're all blinded for an hour.
Christ.
So was it a genie that got summoned?
It might have been a genie. Yes.
But the inn is still back.
The end is
Hey,
back.
where are my other 2 wishes?
You rolled a d4 -1 in here. One was already used.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Is this a document with it? Nope. I wrote notes. I had notes. I had future notes that weren't even moved to this folder because I wasn't gonna supposed to use this for like 30 sessions. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Fucking
30 sessions.
wonderful. I never fucking expected this. Fucking bullshit. All right. Relax. It's all
What
good.
an amazing start.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's see.
Man, I love D&D. It's
For my second time being a player, this is amazing. Kudos to you.
and you have my apologies.
Likewise, but I'm also not sorry at all.
Why would I expect you to be sorry?
Should it?
Damn it, where is it? Alright, I know. I know one word appears in there. How many possible documents could it? Okay, that's a lot of documents. Oh, I know what I did. I renamed it. That's what it was, I think. There it is. Okay. All right. So, in your mind's eye, you see a vault. A huge vault and a temple made of crystal. Inside this crystal is translucent, though, and you see yourself sitting in this temple, and around you are a field of galaxies and stars. At the end of the room is a sacred door, bound by 9 seals. Who, by the way, who grabbed the hourglass?
That would be Brenzalier.
Brenzalier.
Yeah.
Something is moving underneath your shirt,
Ugh.
as if being pulled.
I'll bring it out.
It's being pulled as if magnetically towards the wall.
Excellent. I can use this to see.
Hard.
No, this is all mental image right now, so we can actually see
Yep.
in our heads.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
You feel it's strangely real, as if you're in a place not of your own.
I'll just follow it.
It attempts to break free of your hold.
I'm gonna keep as tight a hold on it as I can.
Sleight of hand. Oh no, sorry, like in athletics. Roll it.
Okay, I'm better at that.
Bro, just the fact that Brenzalier won't let go of whatever this is going to cause the next seal to break.
18.
Ooh, I rolled a 19. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, bro.
Damn.
The cord snaps, and the hourglass flies towards the other wall. It locks in as a portion of the wall turns around like a half sphere. It locks in as it fits into a shape of an hourglass. Then the wall carves itself and it spins into place. And you can hear mechanisms within the wall shift as it glows blue. 8 of the globes lie empty.
Interesting. What does this mean?
Can I ask some questions about what we see?
Sure.
Is this crystal reminiscent of the crystal from
Yes. Yes, it is.
Hmm. Are there anything like the Heart of the Stars around that we can see?
Nope.
Is there anything like missing? Like chunks missing from the. That's kind of a
no.
odd question to ask.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, good question. Hold on. Yes.
You know,
There is a tiny slot in the wall where it seems like a chunk is missing.
Maybe the size of a necklace?
Nope.
It's not that.
Kind of like the size of a heart.
all right, someone tear out their heart.
Hey,
I don't say that in character, by the way.
Okay, hold on. I gotta write all of this down.
You know,
Okay,
I
so
bet
one of the
when-
9 seals is lit up. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. At the door, is it ajar or closed?
It's closed.
Okay.
You know, I bet when the Bone King looked into the future and saw our fates, he didn't expect to see this.
This is what happens in this one. But those idiots would never do that. Oh, fuck.
Out of 14 million possibilities, they go with this one.
Is it like a room of crystal or like a cavern?
Like a room of crystal.
Okay.
As if it's a temple made of crystal.
And this is a stretch, but in my not many years act of paying attention, would I have heard any tales about anything vaguely related to this?
Nope. You stumbled across a greatly held secret.
Lack of information is information in of itself.
Hey, but that cat knew.
Now would be a great time to drink that expensive wine that the cat destroyed.
What do we have here? Says a voice in the air.
Oh God, not Bone Daddy.
It's not Bone Daddy's voice.
Okay.
Oh,
I would have loved to see his reaction to this, though.
Like flies caught in a web. Dreams of chains undone. Appears before you as a gnome. Would anyone like to see the picture of this gnome?
Yes, please.
Show me.
Sure.
Us.
It's no me.
show only him.
I can't see.
He has white mustache and beard that are singed as if burned.
Is he reminiscent of the guy in the Star Heart?
Nope.
Okay. Not that I would know, because I don't think I actually looked at it, but
What a mess you've gotten yourself in. Stuck here before your time. Not yet ready. Not yet ready. Oh. Perhaps it was a mistake to throw down the star.
I
Always
don't
got
say
to
anything, but
try
I'm
new
nodding.
things. Always got to try new things, don't you agree? He looks towards Linebeck. You do agree with me, don't you?
Of course. If I'm even able to say anything.
He brings out what appears to be a pair of golden scissors. Strings of fate, strings of fate. Do you wish to cut your strings?
Emily immediately yells no.
He appears on top of your shoulders. Hello?
Get off me!
He appears back on the floor. Oh, you know. Eh. Inhospitable. He spins the scissors in his hands. Does anyone wish to be set free?
Hodgkin looks up. Free of.
Why, your strings above your head. Can't you see them?
What do we see when we look up?
No strings.
Okay.
You are
Are we able to-
puppets on a chain. I offer you this. Be set free and live your own little lives, not to be controlled by other people in another world.
Why did you send the star down to us?
Well, I figured I might get things going a little quicker this time around.
What things?
What
Am
things,
I
what
able
things, what
to-
things? Need to be more specific about what you ask.
What things do you want to go quicker?
I've tried this before. It never works out. You all go insane. I have to reset it over again.
Is
I
this
know.
what
He smirks.
Captain Buttons meant by we've seen each other, we've known each other a long time?
Buttons? He looks close to you. What do you know of buttons?
We're community. That's all I'll share until I know more about what's going on here, sir.
Sticking his fingers where he shouldn't stick them. Always messing with my plans.
He did nothing of the sort.
You know nothing, girl. You don't even know the thousands of fates that I've contrived for you to be here now. You know nothing. Remain silent unless spoken to. Now. He spins once again the scissors. Does anyone else want to be set free? No? Ah, well, to be expected. Last time it happened, well, yeah, they all got mad.
Can I get a read on this guy at all?
Would you like to read?
Like, that's a good question. Like, is there any way to get a sense of like who this person is or what this person is?
Religion with disadvantage.
Do.
Two nat
Do I
20s
get
in
to
a
roll
row.
too?
Anyone may roll this.
Ooh,
Here,
Wait,
let
did
me
you
roll
roll
my
net 20?
let me roll my 2 so we don't get all mixed up. All right, never mind. You roll your.
DC of 20.
I got it. Did not.
I could theoretically get it. Hold on. No, I don't get it. That's a natural 1.
Did you say
Yeah, I rolled a 1
disadvantage?
and then a 2.
Unless
Oh,
you have
hey,
advantage, yes. Unless you have unless you're proficient with it. Sorry, my bad. Unless you're proficient
if you
with religion.
if you
wait,
right
what if you're
click
professional?
the
If you're proficient with religion, it's a normal check.
oh cool.
16.
Oh,
Oh, there's a disadvantage ticker. Whoopsie.
Fuck. 7. Damn it.
what's it do on here?
All right, what's the highest roll?
Yeah. I got a 10.
16.
Yeah, 16 was the highest.
From
Okay.
Emily.
Okay. It's a pretty good change. You would know that there is doctrine and lore, but time before the age of gods, there was something else. You don't quite remember as it's at the edge of memory, but this something was dark and sinister until it was bound by 3 chains.
Until it was bound by 3 chains?
Yups.
There's. Would there happen to be 3 chains on that big old door?
Yes. Well,
Oh.
2 now. And the center is an orb, and it's holding like a ceremonial thing, and the orb is cracked like an egg.
Methinks I should have asked for the something else. Anyways,
So, these 3 chains you would know are of earth, soul, and magic.
who who's the cat? No, I never mind. I wouldn't know that.
The Linebeck would.
I didn't see the cat.
I don't know if he would ask it.
I can't see anything.
I feel like Linebeck is a little bit out of his realm.
Olivia,
at the
where are you?
moment.
Interfering again, Olivia. Very well, as you wish. I will not harm them any further. He looks to your party. I think it's time you left this place of destiny. Until you come back later. He whispers through the portal. And so, cast away from the center of the world, you spines twist and spurl. Goodbye, my fair hearties. Until next time. And he waves you away, and you appear back in your bodies.
The cat said, "Earth shattered," or "Earth moves," something along those lines.
The chains of earth were shattered.
Yes.
Is there anything else that happens? Or is that it from opening up the heart?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
The circling maelstrom above you has ended, and there is only a slight drizzle in the air.
So is the hole still there, even though
Yep.
he asked for his end back?
Yep. Hole's still there.
Line. So Linebeck is probably just gonna fall onto the ground, just exhausted, and just go, "What did we just do?"
Can I still? Are we still blinded? That's
Your
an
sight's
hour.
coming back a little bit.
Okay,
You still have it ringing in your ear, but yeah.
lads. When I said it was a day, it's like 50 days now. At this man, Is my snake still there? How's my snake doing?
Your snake is shivering and cold.
I go off to find some blankets because we're underground in the hiding area.
Is the star still there?
The star is still there, but it appears to be made out of sapphire.
Emily starts putting it back in her bag.
It seems completely inert. There is no longer a field of stars within.
Still stores it.
Uh, well, I say after putting on like a neck cloak, I will. I mean, if we saw the big lightning bolt go up from here or down from there, I'm sure everybody else saw it. So maybe it would be good not to be here.
People will definitely be coming for questions. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure old Jeb is making his way down here as
Yep,
soon as
he pops his
figures it
head
out.
down into the basement. What the actual living fuck did you do?
That is a really good question.
we we touched the middle of the cloth. I don't say that. I don't say that.
Okay.
That would be pretty funny if I did.
How tempted are you to say it?
Enough that a wisdom saving throw might have to be done.
Do it.
That is a 1.
Oh,
When you touch the center of the cloth, he's like perplexed. He's like, how the fuck is this my fault? Like, what do you mean to touch? Like, you know, like how the fuck is this? What? How
I
is
proffer the box. I put it back.
this? My precious end. Ugh, there's a hole in the top, and it's slightly off center now. Why is it slightly off center? This is gonna bug me.
I was blind for all of it.
Yeah, I think can we not still see?
You can see now. It's you're a little sensitive to light and sound, but you can see.
Well,
I saw all of it happen, and I'm still not sure what the hell's happened. But I think we've learned a valuable lesson.
Hey, Jeb, could I ask you a question besides the question that I'm currently asking you?
He rubs his head with a massive headache. Yeah, yeah.
If you were to look outside, how many guards are coming in this general direction?
Oh, he points out. You can start seeing like he starts counting on his fingers, and he runs out of fingers and keeps counting again and again.
I think that
So,
means all of
like I
them.
said,
I don't think we're gonna get out of this easily, if at all.
Probably not.
But it turns
Yeah,
out
we
we're gonna be doing it together.
Guards burst in and start talking and start interrogating Jeb. What the fuck did you do? And Jeb's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I said a cloth, the center of the cloth, and he starts muttering. He's like, take him away, and they start hauling Jeff off to jail.
Well, that's unfortunate.
He starts yelling at you, bail me out.
We'll have to remember that. Someone go press the button to the door.
Are they? Oh, are they? Are
I
they?
mean, all
Are they
they'll
coming
have to
for
do is
us, or
look
did they
down the
just drag
hallway.
him off
They
and then
drag
leave?
him off.
Oh, did they leave after? Or are we just?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no need to press the button. We're saved.
Linebeck will walk up and push the button very quietly.
Which button?
The button at the top of the stairway.
Oh, to get out? Yeah. Okay. The door is open.
I think he's trying to close the door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The door's closed.
Because Jeb came in, so I assume he opened the door. So
Yes.
I press it to close it back. So for the
and then
moment, we're okay. But we should probably do something about the hole in the ceiling.
yeah. Also, so I had a weird dream. You guys were all there.
I'm pretty sure we all had the same dream.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. The one with the guy, right?
Yeah,
And
the gnome. Yep,
okay.
that one.
Okay.
Is everyone all right? Is no one hurt?
I am
Sound
going to
off.
need lots of alcohol to process this one.
Lineback is gonna yell out again. Sound off. Make sure who's here.
So
I can
us
hear
like,
just
rocking
fine.
on the floor. I'm doing fine.
It's Brenzilier and
You notice through the
Emily
window that
is...
Jeb's wife has been taken into custody as well.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That's the M trying to make Emily care.
Since two people have not sounded off yet, Lineback is going to start looking around for them and get eyes on them.
It doesn't take you long to find Emily, but she's in like the area that she had claimed as her own, in the corner, hugging the bag and just softly crying.
What about the other masked guy? Where's he at in all this?
Brenzalira is just has not moved and is just staring into the distance, just like you'd almost think he's brooding like he usually does, but he's just in shock.
Okay, so I think it's time that we all get together and just decompress and go through what just happened.
Yeah.
Because that was something.
You said there's a bar down here, right?
Yep.
I go fetch. Is there alcohol down here?
There's an abundance of alcohol.
I find some decent drinks from the bar.
An orb of black sea of stars appears in front of you.
As I'm going for the bar.
Yep.
Oh. Hello.
Do we all see this?
Yes.
Just
Okay.
a orb and a black sea of stars. Lineback is gonna draw his weapons.
Is it like? Is it? Is it the same size relative to the first heart?
Yes.
Okay.
Through it, you see like in the field of blackness. Whenever to roll me a perception check.
Everyone?
Yep.
I'm supposed to be good at this. Oh, 26.
I'm not.
I don't see
Nope.
anything. I am a 3.
Hodgkin, you see a black cat
Same.
in this field of stars.
Oh,
From it
hello.
emanates a voice. And this is what it says. Okay, so what everyone to do is on the right side of Discord, scroll down to the bots. See Theobot, make sure that bitch is turned up to 200%. Because this is kind of quiet.
Theobot?
Under bots, yep. Theobot.
Oh God. Okay.
Theobot, use your volume. Gotcha. We're
I'm
all gonna go
scared.
deaf here in a second. He's gonna give us the Rick roll.
Nah, gotcha.
Where am I looking for this?
On the right side of Discord, where you see like everyone in the server.
Yeah.
There should be a list of bots.
Under bots, Theobot, right click that bitch and turn up to 200%.
Got it.
Are you ready?
I have
Yep.
it up.
Inside the corner of the world, where spines twist and spurl, the center of everything spins, and reality meets its twin. The four ride forth, together all but kin, to punish the wicked and to praise sin. The seals we create, we must someday unmake, so that great evil may be destroyed, or else forever doom the world to the void. We know what feels good and right, and we know we must pay a terrible price. Once, twice, thrice, to travel through the needle's eye, to reform space and even time. Tools to rewrite history are hard to find, but so are the souls that come entwined. Find 3 of the 3, bring them all forth, so the seals may be released, and the people finally set free.
All right.
Well, I know I've heard part of that before.
Yep.
So you're telling me Bone Daddy was a good guy?
I never doubted it.
Okay, good, because I wasn't typing near fast enough.
I got you.
Thank you, DM.
In it, please. Also, how is Bone Daddy a good guy?
He speaks the same words as this weird cat.
Made sense.
So I'm more concerned about the 4 ride forth, and there are 5 people here. Who's gonna die?
We all die. Probably
Well,
me.
Given that, well, Brenslier's already talked a lot about how he'd sacrifice himself for others. Probably him.
I mean, really, we should be asking which one of us is going to drop.
List of things to do before dropping out of the campaign. Break more stuff.
Break everything.
Identify another part of the star.
The sphere is the sphere still there, or does it peace out?
After the riddle, it disappears.
I reach out for it way too slow. It's gone. Damn it. You all also heard that?
So are you saying the wish to reseal the world was a wasted one?
Looks like it.
Yeah, we were meant to break it anyway.
Hey, I'm gonna bring. I bring 2 alcohols instead of 1.
Okay. Linebeck is gonna call out to Emily, who was in the other room, and just be like, please come in here. There's a lot to talk about.
She does the I guess the vision, I guess the voice that we had all heard has stopped her from crying, and she comes in carrying her bag very protectively.
So let's start from the very beginning.
There's a cat on your shoulder, Emily. It's purring.
Oh shit, where'd you get that cat?
Neat.
Must have been in the room. I don't know.
Wait. Is that the same cat?
It's the same cat.
Linebeck is gonna go over, grab the cat, hold
No!
it up, and be like, "What the fuck?"
Starts interrogating the cat.
Leave
Where
her
is she?
alone!
Who do you work for?
No, he's just holding it up, and he's just like, "What the? This is the cat that said the earth shattered. The cat spoke to us."
What are you talking about? Put her down!
Everyone roll insight to see if they believe Linebeck. You may choose to fail this roll.
I choose to fail.
I don't.
I'm
choose
rolling
to
it just
fail,
because like everything's funny.
but I'm probably going to fail anyway.
Yeah, I got a 4.
Yep, that was.
I hit a
yeah,
10.
I got an 8.
No one believes
DC
Linebeck.
15.
Nobody believes Linebeck. It's okay.
I mean, did everyone see the cat in the ball?
No, only Hodgkin.
Oh, okay.
So would
Is that the
Hodgkin
same
have
cat
been
that I
the
saw in the
liquid?
ball?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So then I probably wouldn't have needed to roll insight. Well, no. Well, I mean, okay, no. That's fine. I don't know about the whispery part, but that is the same cat that was in the ball. You all saw the floaty ball, right?
Can we talk about what happened and not the cats? Just leave it alone. You're upsetting it.
The cat is part of what happened.
How is the cat reacting to me holding it? I'm not like shaking it or anything. I've just basically picked it
You
up.
can swear it's squinting at you condescendingly.
I'll put it back down.
It hops
Don't
back
knock
onto
over
Emily's
these
shoulder
battles.
and starts laying down.
I
That
return-
about its
cat.
work.
You
How
what?
heavy was the cat when I picked it up?
About a pound.
Okay.
I pour alcohol in a glass, drink. Go figure.
All right. But before what I said before the cat, from the beginning. So we identified the star. Sebas, what did you learn?
Did I learn anything about it?
That it was a well of magic, or at least as far as you could tell. There was something that it was like, think of it like this. It was a piece of a pool that had magic in it. Something that you freed as a result of interacting with magic of your own managed to break kind of like the outer seal, and so all that magic burst out at once.
Yeah, okay. My bad, guys.
Just word vomit it back out.
Yep. I know
believe-
nothing.
Well, do you still have the pearl?
Yeah, I do.
The pearl's in the
Let me
shape
add
of a
a
fish
spot to
now.
that one. Kind of.
In the shape of a
Pearl
what,
is a
sorry?
fish?
Fish.
Is it a cod?
Just a fish shape.
Can it be a salmon?
Okay, it's a salmon.
Yes!
The cat
I
hate
eyed
it when-
curiously.
Do not eat the precious jewel.
Okay. So we basically learned nothing, but also learned a whole lot more than we really should have.
How could you say we've learned nothing, Linebeck?
Well, considering that our original goal was to find out who it was in the middle of the stone, and we seemingly freed whatever was in that stone, and instead managed to put the world into an apocalypse, save it, get transported to the center of the world, meet a weird gnome, get sent back, and then get told that the chain that we just repaired has to be broken.
It also wasn't repaired anyway, as far as I could tell.
Oh, was it?
No, there were only 2 chains.
Okay. Well, anyways, we set things into motion a lot earlier than we should have. Is the gist that I'm
Pretty
getting.
much.
Is that your beg for a level up?
Well, if you're offering,
No, but if you're I was not expecting a level up, but you said it, not me.
I still have quite a bit for this session too, so we can
Oh,
keep going if
really?
you guys want.
Jesus.
I still want to keep going.
cannot. I have to do a tournament soon.
I
Yeah.
just have one thing I want to do before we go, but it should take about maybe 15-20 minutes, if that. I don't know if you have that long or not, though.
Okay.
I'm good for whatever.
Same.
And it is kind of compartmentalized anyway, so I could always send you your part and whatnot. and you can decide to share that if you so choose.
Okay, I might go with that option. So I got it on.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
I need to
Well.
know.
Time to go process. Night all.
Good night, Sebas.
I'll be heading out too. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, Bryn Zalier. Hey, is Bryn a valid short form or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Bryn is acceptable. I wanted to make a name that that I was like, oh, could someone shorten this? Because we all love nicknames. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Good night.
Peace.
Okay. Do you want to continue with this next bit, or do you want to wait till next week?
I want to continue personally, but if no one else, if we want to go ahead and save this for next week, I'm down with that too.
I'm like emotionally invested now, like more so than I already was.
It's good. It's a good bit, I'll tell you that. And we could always repeat it too, because it's really cool. So
Mhm.
I don't mind
That
doing
worked. I mean, I'm okay with that if everyone else is.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Majority will.
all of you are going about your day-to-day business and trying to process the tragedies outside. And after going out to get some market or shopping or whatnot, you come across a raggedy man who says, "Oh, my lord, might I have a few coins for a suffering soul?"
Sorry, I don't have much, but you're welcome to what I have.
Where's my?
Are we all together?
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna give him 100 GP.
He reaches out a horrendously disfigured hand to take the gold.
Odd.
Is that coming out of party loot? We should record that. And then
I'm
I'm
keeping track of my 1,000 gold myself because that was tossed to Lineback.
Did you?
I'm keeping track of the 300 left.
Okay, so in that, because as far as so the 300 left, is that entirely yours then?
I am going to say yes because
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
think anyone else wants the so-called cursed gold.
Nope.
Given that, okay, should probably party funds as
Would anyone
of
like to roll a
writing.
medicine check on this man?
I am not good at it. So
Would I need like is this on like upon inspection or
You can just
Or
roll.
would I
You
need to-
can just roll a medicine check.
I will do so.
19.
It's easily determined that this person has leprosy, a very contagious and dangerous disease. It's highly unusual he has not been thrown out of the city in his current state. Either he has been good at hiding, or the guards have not been willing to touch him to remove him from the walls.
I rolled a 12.
DC's 10.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
Sir, I have some coin here. I placed on the bench for you to take if you'd like.
Ah, a pure soul. Thank you. He starts coughing. You can see pus come over from his lips. Thank you from a miserable wretch such as I. I wish I could do something for you. What is something you'd want me to do for you?
Sir, I couldn't ask a favor of someone who deals with such trouble on a daily basis. It would not be right. I thank you, though, for the offer.
Ah, I see. He jiggles the coins within his palm and smiles a sweet smile. A golden light begins to spread from within his heart onto his arms, his hands, and his face. The disgusting, wretched figure that was hunched before you rises, and now stands an eerily beautiful man with a kind face and watchful eyes. Where his skin was sagging and full of lesions before, now it has strong, healthy muscle. His skin seems to emanate a faint golden light. He takes the cheek of Emily and says in a hollowing tone, Thank you, my kind child. I am Ogildir. I am the god of generosity, humility, and faith. He looks to the party. You have demonstrated the most powerful of human values. Faith in those other than oneself to do right by the grace you show them. You have shown generosity in your gift to those less fortunate to you. You have shown humility instead of pride to help the downtrodden, even when it posed a risk to you. I look into your heart and I can see your most desperate desires. You have shown faith in others, and I shall show faith unto you. His golden voice rises once again, and time seems to stand still. As he speaks, it seems as if golden harps are punctuating every word, as if singing an accompanying tune. Time seems to have slowed to a halt, and there is a bright golden spotlight including you and this god.
Wait, so are we all included in this, or is this
You're
just
each
Emily?
having your own individual thing. It's a choice. I can read it to you individually. I can just read it to you as a group.
Ah. Okay.
Does everyone want to do it as a group, or want to do it individually?
I'm fine as a group, since we're
Yeah,
all here anyway.
we have control over meta, so that's fine.
Ogildir looks towards his cleric and houses a sad smile. This is Emily. He gently takes his hand and brushes it against her cheek, wiping away a single tear he didn't know you shed. Oh, my sweet Emily, full of wanderlust and hope, not yet broken or marred by the complexities of the human condition. You are as sweet as a nectar from a night flower. I see within your heart, and I know what you truly desire. He glances towards Seblis and briefly smiles, a soft curling of a perfect face. You wish for community, a place where all those who have been scorned might have refuge, a place earned through good intention and hard work. I'm here to tell you that your dreams are possible. They are real. There exists a place deep in the desert that houses such a magnificent secret, guarded by golden scales and purifying flame, a cave of wonder and beauty this world has seldom known. Inside this cave is a marvelous tree. From this tree, cut a sapling and plant it at your new kingdom, and start a community of your very own. For I now pronounce you queen of a land not yet founded, a place of equality to mar the sense darkness of the desert. You see an image within your mind of a hidden oasis deep beneath the desert, a beautiful location where the balance of nature might be maintained, where peace and love are the currency of the realm, a land of night flowers. When you find yourself in utmost peril, and the last glimpse of your life is before your eyes are poisoned dunes, call out to me. Call out in faith, whisper unto the sands and a terrifying gale my name, and my wonders shall come forth to aid you once more.
I think she's probably like standing there looking at him with like those perfect anime eyes that are like just constantly glittering. Um, and she just doesn't say anything other than to like swallow hard and just nod her head affirmatively.
All right, now we go to Hodgkin. The face of Ogildir looks upon you, judging you. Freedom and wonder are all you desire, the ability to explore. Yes, I know your desires, for they pulsate within you like the flames of a heart and a hearth beating alike. You shall walk many miles in worn shoes, only to discard them when they have finally served their purpose. Not out of dismissal, but merely out of desire to look forever forward to the setting sun of another dawn. I admire you, Hodgkin. I look forward to the great things you will accomplish. I have seen where your story ends, but do not fear, child. It is not the ending that we must occupy ourselves with. Focus instead on the journey, with each perfect step itself. Enjoy the walking, the running, in the fields of boundless joy. I grant you shoes you may never have to replace, so that wherever you tread, you may do so freely, without remorse. Fly freely, my son, and explore the wonders of all the corners of the world.
He pinches himself a few times.
On to Lineback. Lineback, first of your name, son of the hero of Spalding, son of Doran. You have traveled a long and windy road to come here, yet your journey has only just started. You have only just begun to tap into your vast potential. Look into yourself and relax. You are and will ever be the swordsman your sister wishes she could become. You are and forever will be your father's son. It is recorded on a string of golden ink and thread of silk in the Book of Fate. Seek it out, Lineback. Seek out the Tome of Heroes. It is there that you will find your own truth. It is there that you will discover what really happened the day your father died. No matter what you discover, be it coward, hero, champion, or weakling, know that your father loved you, and that the last embers of his dying heart, for it was you he thought of in his final moments, for it is you that he knew would prove himself true. Seek it out, and remember, to thyself always be true.
Linebeck will probably stand there in disbelief. The last thing he'll do is take off his mask and show that his face, and just kind of give a bow.
As time returns to normal, you can see the god before you has disappeared, and instead, where he once stood, you can see flowers and grass bloom in the dirty sands. Life, where life is held most dear. All right. What'd you guys think of the session?
Pretty good.
Are we sure that this is only session 2 and not the 30th session?
Yep.
So much shit has happened.
You ever just do a thing and then it just does another thing and then like, oh, okay.
DM, can you roll the damage I would have taken if I hadn't succeeded my dexterity save with a nat 20?
16d6.
Could you roll that?
Sure.
Pretty sure no matter what, Emily would have died immediately.
Yeah.
I maybe could have survived. Maybe.
So
There
we'll
I have
chalk that up
15.
to
Yeah.
Emily almost died again in the second session.
I can say with confidence that I am a level 2 fighter with a 15 in Constitution, so my HP is at 22. I would have died.
Yep, I would have died. But if he had rolled all ones, I would be just making saving throws.
So that was a session, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Hutchkin,
It
thank
makes
you
me
for
look
saving the
forward
world.
to where we're going.
I don't think I actually saved the world.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was actually a wasted wish.
I'm glad that he did it because it gave me some peace of mind. That whole like explosion of the Godstone was traumatic for Emily.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's
That is a wonderful assumption you guys have made. But what makes you think it's a god?
well, she doesn't necessarily think that entirely anymore based off of
Yeah.
the
My train
other
of thought-
worldly experience.
My train of thought is that whatever we ended up at Mr. Definitely a Regular Gnome Man's
Yeah.
lair
Everyone
place
knows.
because we identified, and then the first seal shattered, and then so I guess if he's the big bad, maybe maybe I should put this all in theories. I'm gonna do that instead.
That way it's immortalized, so you can be like, "I fucking told you so." You got, you know. Yeah.
I am
welcome to-
unsure as to whether these riddles lead to the good ending or the bad ending.
So,
Well, it was pretty clear to me that when we're ready to stop the bad stuff, we break these seals, we kill the baddie type thing, so that the world can be free. But I'm going to forget shit for next week, so I'm hoping you can post. You're posted some of it already, but if you can post what you just did with us, DM.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm literally recording it right now.
Okay, cool.
So you'll hear yourself ask it. But yeah. So what did you guys think of the big baddie, so to speak, of the gnome?
The gnome.
I almost
don't
took
think it's
his offer
Yeah, I mean,
because you said
Linebeck-
freedom, and you know that's freedom to go places. That's kind of his thing.
That just, I have to say it because I'm Canadian. That's such an American thing. Because freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linebeck would
I have the
not
right
Say
to-
freedom without cocking your shotgun.
I have the right to wear my bow in public. I can carry my
Definitely.
crossbow on my person. It's the Second Amendment.
I got
can't
a
do
Have
that
the
permit.
accent.
I got a
God-given
permit for
right.
this machine gun.
This is no tank, it's an armored vehicle. And according to
I guess we just have to assemble the
landmine's
killdozer.
my property for deer hunting.
So I guess we're not going back there until we're level 20, if we can help it.
Yep.
If
No
we
more-
can
no
help
more
it is a
identifying
key.
gods, so-
So what did you think of the gnome himself, though?
He's got that like. Well, see, now I want to know more, and I want to know his.
Yeah, I want to know more about the gnome.
I want to know how Bone
seems-
Man got the hourglass.
Yeah, I want to know how Bone Man connects into this because he gave the exact same riddle as the cat. Pretty much.
And not just because his name is Bone Man with 2 apostrophes.
I wonder who Olivia is, but after Gnome shut Emily down, she was properly shut down. She wasn't going to speak again. So there's this like respect based out of I guess a degree of fear of him. So there's that.
Yeah, like he gives me conniptions, but not in like an I hate him kind of way. In so that's a plus, Mr. DM.
Yes. I, for one, don't think he is the big bad. I think he is connected to it, but I don't think he's the main villain.
My instinct
not
is that, well,
considered
he
that.
can't be. The main villain's behind the door. So
Well,
I think what his
yeah.
preference is for the whatever's happening to the world, which Emily's, I guess, a little bit onto based off of what she was told by Buttons and now by him.
but didn't the door start to
Also-
open? Like we were told it was.
You heard like a door open.
So it could be that he's partially out. And that his manifestation happened at all because the door metaphorically opened a little bit. We can't really tell.
I
At least
don't
with
know.
the door.
I don't believe that it's open yet.
I'm part of the I'm part of the it's not a school of thought of the as the seals weaken, its influence gets stronger kind of thing.
Could be.
So and given that it's just because one chain is missing.
Well, they
chain of
did
Earth.
explicitly need 3 of them, right? So if there's only 2 of the 3, then it's not far to make that assumption. But Re the gnome, I think his interest isn't so much of like serving the big baddie behind the door. I think his interest is more about keeping the system going. And so by cutting our strings, then we wouldn't be able to break the system and try to free the world of whatever the
Is
hell's
anyone
happening.
curious what would have happened if you cut the strings?
I
I
would have
think someone would
assumed
die.
that us. I would have assumed that us as
No, far more
characters.
meta than death.
Well, see,
No, yeah.
you said that.
Hang on. What would have happened when we cut the string is that we would have lost control of our characters. They would have become NPCs.
Yep.
Yeah. Based on given information. Yep.
Based on what information? How did I not get
Because he
saved
said that
information?
controlled by something out not in this plane or something along those
Yeah.
lines.
Controlled by otherworldly powers or something like that.
First person to make that connection. Congratulations.
I went straight to gods. Does that
Cool,
mean
do
we
I get
level up? Good
inspiration?
job, Lineback.
Guys, yeah, I wasn't going to say anything about levels until you mentioned it.
Yeah, I was content with waiting on levels, but then you're like, so you guys want to level up?
It's true.
So this is all your fault, DM.
You did like start a piece of machinations. I kind of need you not to be level 2 so you don't fucking die. And
I
level
will
3 is
be
like when your
content.
features really start to come into their own.
Yeah, I will be content.
So it's like
with
it's
not
fine if the early levels go a little bit
mentioning
faster. In my
levels at
opinion.
3.
But like at level 3, you get your feature, but it's not that great, so you kind of have to be level 6, right? So
I mean, at least you can actually say you are your subclass.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just some random fighter until I level up, then I become a samurai.
Okay. I'll counter. You want to level up? Fine. I need everyone to make me an insanity save.
what is an insanity save?
Heard of that.
Intelligence save.
And I will cast Emboldening Bond and cast Bless on both the people here. So actually, everyone gets Bless here, except I can only Emboldening Bond one of you.
You can Emboldening
So
Bond
You
the
have a
person-
better relationship with Linebeck, so I think you should do that.
okay.
Tell you what. I'm gonna have Lineback roll this one, and it'll count for everyone.
Jesus Christ, why?
This is funnier because then I can blame somebody else.
You'll have the bless roll,
Okay.
but not the bond.
Okay. In that case, how do y'all want me to roll?
So, do you want me to go by the actual DC, or do you want me to roll for it?
To other people here, I would like to ask their opinions on the subject matter.
You don't
My
know what the
opinion-
You
Just
don't know what
happen
the
to be the
DC
person
is.
typing it in.
However, you do not know what the original DC is. However, if I roll, what I will do is I roll a D20, and that becomes a DC. It could be higher. It could be lower.
Are we allowed to know the consequences of insanity as far as they relate to our characters?
I'm pretty
our action?
mild when it comes to insanity. I allow it to manifest in many ways.
So,
like for example,
me being
for
me,
example, if you miss it by 10, obviously everyone's insane. You miss it by 1, only one person's a little crazy. And you
okay, so you're going by degrees of failure in
Correct.
addition to okay.
So, and honestly, it's pretty weighted in your favor, to be fucking honest.
Me being the person I am will say that it's more funny when things go horribly wrong.
Like they did with the heart.
I think everything's fine. I lived. Hodgkin is really not thinking about it at all. He doesn't think about many things at all. That's by design. Hey, I don't know what the DC is beforehand, so I can't make a. He could lower the DC to a 1.
I do not want to go insane, so I will just not. I choose not to level
I
up.
don't know. I feel like Emily is a little bit insane. I think that would add to the character.
No, really, what this is it's fine. You guys are level up anyway. What this is doing is this is just adding flavor from how everyone handles their. Because basically, in case you noticed, every single person, maybe with the exception of Emily, has had a truth revealed to them that they did not understand initially. It's like a big truth, you know?
Yeah, we've had multiples of those recently.
Yeah. So
Recently,
this is like kind of like an overall handle of like how you're handling it so far. That's it.
I can already say Linebeck isn't going to handle the fact that his dad might not be a coward after all very well.
Yeah,
Is there a way to
especially because,
voluntarily take the penalty?
yeah, it's fine. If you want to make your character somewhat moderate, somewhat, if you want to say that your character didn't handle it well and everyone else handled it fine, that's fine.
No, Linebeck isn't going to handle the assumption of that really well. He's really going to push to go and find that book. Like, above all else, he's going to try
Tome
and
of
push and
Heroes.
find it. Yeah. Because now
Better
he's
not
like,
be a
"Oh,
weekly
shit."
magazine.
Ugh.
I guess I'll.
But anyways, I'm still going to roll.
Go for it.
I got a 1.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, Linebeck still is insane.
You're not insane. You're just like you are really struggling to wrap your head around what you were just told. You're like, is he lying? Is he lying? But he's this person. He can't lie, can he? You know. So you're basically. It's like the equivalent of like being told you're a clone and you never lived your life. And that actually being the truth.
Yeah, the last 30 years of my life being the lie. I don't like it.
The entire last 3 hours of session never actually occurred, but you remember that they did.
Yikes. It's a lot more work for me.
Oh, no.
I actually had that happen one time. I'm amazed you guys never actually ended up using the hourglass.
I didn't even know if we could.
Yes. No one paid attention to the riddle, I guess.
I mean, that was just to like turn back time, but like I would assume we wouldn't have even had to have had a chance to use it during that because it would have all
True,
happened. at
true. I
pretty
mean,
much
you
the
guys
time.
like the other party, they came across bandits, but they had a lot more bandits there because they rolled higher, and they were slavers, and so they really wanted to free the slaves, and they attacked them, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we're like level 1." And then one party member got his head cut off because he was near someone who had full actions, and so he just got coup de grace. So his head got cut off, and the other person used the hourglass to tap into all the power he would have obtained throughout his entire life, and use it all at once to kill the enemies. And in the process, he got burned into ashes.
So now that we know what we're now missing because Hourglass is gone, let's
Yeah, we've
not
lost our reset button.
get our heads cut off.
Oh, it didn't save the party member. It just saved the rest of them that were already alive. So, basically, in case you guys don't know, you guys would realize this pretty quick just through not being dumbasses. These artifacts are incredibly, incredibly powerful. They also have a bitch of a kick. Think of it like the
Yes.
biggest shotgun you can imagine. You're gonna you know everything in that general direction isn't gonna be a problem anymore. But you know, as a bitch of a kick.
I'm hoping my innocuous amulet is just innocuous and makes me carry things better. Yeah. Oh man.
All right.
I hope it doesn't turn me
I'm
into a flat earther.
3 of 3. Sheesh. What if one of those is the Tome of the Hero and I don't get it until the end of the campaign?
There's gonna be 2 more stars we gotta get.
Is it going to be stars though? I don't think it's just like stars that do this.
Well, the one
We
that
also
came
need
from
to see
the
what the other
sky
players
was-
are getting.
Yeah.
what was the name and title of the god that she saw again?
Oggledeer. It's
How
your
do I
god.
spell it?
Yep.
By the way, can we get a text version of everything that was said?
Yes, you may.
Or at least our singular parts?
Yep, I can DM it to you.
I'm not gonna lie, I expected the beggar to be related to the alchemist in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, we've completely glossed over it for the hot minute.
Yeah, we need to still have the party chat about what the fuck has happened.
Yeah.
Hey, we
I
have
guess that's what the
text
RP chat
RP.
is for.
Yeah. Just
Another
for the 3 of us,
chefs.
we'll have to remember that what just happened didn't happen yet.
No, what happened? They just don't know what happened to their own characters. I can DM it to them. Basically, what'll happen is I'll DM what happened to them. I can read out what happened to them if you're okay with them reading what happened to yours.
Yeah, it's fine with. I'm fine with them knowing what happened.
When we went as a party, so like, well, us,
Yeah.
the 3 of
Okay.
us went as a party.
So for Brenzelier, this is what happened. Brenzelier, I know you want nothing to do with me, and I am sorry for that. I may not have been the one to wrong you, but wronged you I still have. When you reached out for mercy, I did not bequeath my hand. I did not feel you were ready for what is to come. I'm afraid that even I cannot change the quilt that has written and continues to write even now your ending. It is an ending, fine in majesty, yet marred by the jealousy of revenge. I will not beg you to forsake your quest, for in your heart that is what you desire above all. Vengeance you may call it, but that is not what you truly seek. You truly seek answers. Answers for why you were denied mercy. Why no one stopped and cared. Though I did not intervene, please know that I cared. I suffered with you. I see the light within you grow every day, and I am thus thankful that you managed to survive on your own. For in your quest, there is only one person you can count on, yourself. You will be accompanied by others, and they will lean on you as you lean upon them. But they will not be the one to wield the blade of order and bring right to what is wronged. I have no gifts for you, only a statement which I hope you take care and heed dear. The blade will be sheathed by earth and announced by sacred verse. Upon the oath you take, bind by cord of lore, to draw forth a sword of order. You will have a choice: to draw forth destiny and fulfill your heart's desire, or let it go and be free. I urge you wisdom in your decisions and contemplations. Farewell, dear child. May the light of kindness temper your blade of vengeful wrath. Farewell, dear martyr.
Beautiful.
All right, for Sebas.
Well, he's a Oath of Vengeance paladin, obviously.
Hobbs.
Are you sure it's not Oath of Redemption?
Well, I guess we'll
I
find
thought-
out when we find out. I guess we'll find out when he hears we've leveled up.
Sebas. Crafter. Sebas. Once caught but never marked. I see the guilt weighs deep within you. It is not your fault, you know. Your father was glad to take your place and spare you the pain that he endured. If you were ever to be marked, you could never learn from a master. You could never live your dream. He died for your dream, and you remember him forever and dream still. I know within yourself your greatest desire: to craft the most wondrous items you could ever hope for out of the finest and rarest materials, in order to protect those you can in the way you may. I cannot claim to be able to wield shadows, but I do have some tricks made of light. He takes a beam of sunlight and bends it, wraps it up and spins it like cloth. A few seconds later, you now have a cloth of golden light, speckled with the stars of shadow and scintillating beauty. Take this, Sebas. Take this and make something wonderful. Make your dad proud and live up to the potential he knew you always had. For the love of a father, your creations are most due.
Also, not just specifically for these two, but I do have the goosebump shivers the entire time for while you were reading through like all of them. So thank you, DM.
Or the goosebumps?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Did everyone see the same god?
Yes.
Cool.
This man,
Damn, now
he
what
gave
evil
me
is gonna come because of
Yeezys. I
this?
am complete.
Ah, there's the evil. He got Yeezys.
I apologize.
Posting all of this in the general.
Perhaps Hodgkin is too much an extension of myself.
In what manner?
Excessive shitposting.
So now the question becomes, Bren now can have a Sword of Order and a Hammer of Shadows.
It
You
might
know
be
what this
more-
means? Time for character arc.
Yeah, we gotta have this team conversation, that's for sure.
It's a good thing we got that text RP channel.
Yeah. DM, if you can pin these two when you're done.
All of them?
Well, at least mine. I'm old and all over the place, so it's helpful to.
Okay. I
I'm
pinned
taking
it to
just
make it
mine
scroll
into
down.
my notes page.
Yeah, someday I'll just kind of scroll on in here. And did you pin the corner of the world one with Olivia?
Hmm?
9:52 p.m.
Oh, the inside the corner of the world where spines twisted. Yeah, I have that in
I have it pinned now. No worries. It is rather
Very good.
important, so.
Where do you have that? Or is there a note somewhere that I'm missing?
No, I these are in my own notes.
Gotcha.
I think the DM's pinned them as well.
Oh, Mr. Brenzalier sniping our chat from his phone and saying he had to go. What a silly guy.
He lacks critical information.
Indeed. That was pretty cool. And hey, all that for 10 gold, guys.
10 gold? Excuse you.
I have 3 gold to my name now. I can buy nothing.
That was 110 gold total.
I guess we'll have to go retrieve another necklace so we can get some more gold.
Wait,
I
so did you
don't think this was worth it for Linebeck. This
Did
was
you
not an
spend-
equivalent exchange.
spend 100 of your gold as well?
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
So many
By the
yummies.
way,
and-
have we had a long rest yet?
We on the ship ride back, I assumed we had a long rest.
I was mostly asking because I don't think what Linebeck did could count as a long rest.
You've had a long rest. It's fine.
Alrighty.
I know because I removed my level of exhaustion.
Oh, you also have your con back, by the way.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I
I
was
was,
gonna.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if that was going to be permanent or not.
Yeah, no, I
Back up
meant
to
to tell you
plus
to take it away with
3.
the long rest.
Dang, so what would have my constitution roll been?
Probably not good.
23 it would have been.
Still pass.
So Linebeck is finally a samurai.
I'll show you my ultimate technique.
You swing your
I
sword.
hope I get it in the Toma Heroes. That would be pretty dope if I get like a super cool thingy with it.
Becomes like really the Tomy Heroes. This is a list of legendary katas.
That different dances that he could do in order that he could put in battle. That would be awesome. Just let like the best one be.
And
the
then
Sunday.
Avatar style, you have like different elements that actually come into it, literally.
Literally, yeah. Let me become the Demon Slayer.
Level
Oh, God,
3 is
what was
lame for
his
clerics.
name?
What do
Oh,
you
what was
mean?
his
Level
name?
3 is like okay, only because clerics are broken level 2.
Yes.
You're just mad
guess I
because you
think it-
already got your subclass.
I'm just mad because I already had my cool stuff.
Yes,
do
let
get
me
level 3
become
spells.
let me become this world's Yoriichi.
Gosh, what would now I gotta figure out what would make more sense.
So what was your initial reactions when you realized what he really was?
What who really was? The
Um,
gods?
Yeah, Agalier.
Oh,
Linebeck's initial reaction would have been to just take his face mask off.
Oh, do you mean? Well, I guess that begs the question whether you mean in or out of character or both.
Both.
Well, given like, I guess more than a couple days ago,
Hodgkin was just about to give Emily lip about how the gods or whatever. This would kind of be like a huh.
Especially because it's like her god too.
Guess I'm glad I didn't say anything. She can't say I told you so. Let's see.
Oh, fuck. Cool.
Out of character, I guess I'm like, wow, this. We're in for it now because you don't usually get stuff without bad stuff going down at the same time. So I might just be paranoid about it. Might not. Who knows? We'll find out. I mean, there's obviously bad stuff going on already. All because we decided to identify something that we probably shouldn't have, but we did anyway.
I mean, to be fair, when's the last time identifying something resulted in this much shit?
Yeah,
I'm just surprised no one rolled an Arcana, because they would have realized that casting any spell on it would have caused this. But there was no way to, like, communicate that without ruining it.
My excuse is that my character wouldn't have had the forethought to consider that.
That's
Are
a
y'all
pretty
able to
valid
hear me?
excuse. Yes, we can.
Okay, that GIF that I just posted in the chat is going to be Linebeck at the end of the series when we finally make it to level 20.
Where's like, we met a god?
Now I have to figure out. DM, I'll probably like DM you at some point.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, praise the sun, baby. I love that gift. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. Thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.